9 days ago, Grand Valley began its 2016 football season with a comprehensive victory over the Tiffin Dragons. Tonight, the Lakers of Matt Mitchell are back at home again for Game 2 of the Glee. From the campus of Grand Valley State University, I'm Tom Cleary along with Bob Mitchell. Bob, let's talk about the opponent first of all. This is a team that probably should have won its first game, up 15 at home to Northern Michigan before Mark McNally's team let it get away. Might be a little bit of a So Nate Brady, guys that give Matt Mitchell's team a look that they might have preferred to have had for the opener.
Yeah, I talked to Coach Mitchell this week during the week, and he's going to get a lot of guys in there on the offensive line. They're not going to shuffle them around to different positions, but they're going to have 8 guys.
Back on the defensive line, the big senior end is back and ready to rumble. We'll see if the Lakers can make it 2 straight. It's Lake Erie College at Grand Valley tonight on Xfinity and the Grand Valley Sports Network.
There's a phenomenon at Grand Valley State University that is making a lasting impact on our students, the state of Michigan, and beyond. It's called the Laker effect. Lakers understand that one person can make a significant impact. Together, we know we can do even more. That's the Laker effect.
We are the Coors Brewing Company, and our mountain is brewing the world's most refreshing beer. A beer proud enough to wear our name in big, red, scripted letters. That's why we lager, filter, and package cold. Because we believe every climb deserves a refreshing finish. Whatever your mountain, climb on.
It's time again. Have mercy, let the congregation say, Amen. It's time for the biggest, baddest party in the world. So get on up, turn it up a notch, and get ready to boogie, baby.
Out to their own 21-yard line. We'll take over 1st and 10. Fans, Grand Valley State University would like to thank today's game day sponsors, J&H Family Stores, fueling West Michigan since 1969. Answer point is good with 14:44 remaining in the first quarter. Number 1 Andrews on the return for the Storm.
After this, excuse me. Correction. We're blocking the back on the receiving team. After this will fall, first down.
After the penalty, the Storm will take over their own 5-yard line. First down. pass on the keeper, gain of 2 to the 20-yard line, bringing up a 2nd and 8 for the Storm. On the left side, number 17 Bell with the reception, good for a Storm first down. Ball spot on the 38-yard line, 1st and 10 Storm. And his pass is incomplete. Number 25 turn, the intended receiver. 2nd and 10 for the Storm. They're on the 38-yard line. Goes to number 25, turn good for a Storm first down, 4 stop. Lakers number 2 goal. Spotted out Laker 46-yard line, 1st and 10 Storm. Enough goes the middle to number 25 turn. Benya's run to the left side. Good for 1 yard in on the stop. For the Lakers, number 3.
Earlier this week, he doesn't think he's going to be putting on too many blitzes or run blitzes. He thinks his 4-man front can put enough pressure on the quarterback for Lake Erie.
Let's keep an eye on Dante Carey right now. Grand Valley has got 9 guys up near the line of scrimmage, only 2 back. They're going to go for pressure here. They get the pressure, and McKissick almost got caught with his hand in the cookie jar there, Bob. It looked like he was trying to make a grab for the receiver as he went by and pulled it back, and a little bit fortunate.
I think it was good coverage. I think he did a good job of jamming him at the line. The receiver looked upset, but I think he was more upset as his quarterback not putting it on the dime. But the quarterback did not have the time because of the pressure. Great dial-up defense and just enough to get McKissick, keep him out of trouble.
It was a quick post that time to Tyler Hampton. It brings up a 4th down now. Grand Valley's got Matt Williams back at the 10-yard line. The punter is on right now for Lake Erie. We're told this is going to be Austin Baker. Let's see, but I think that's Music who's actually punting, and a whistle stops it. Grand Valley was coming with the heat. Music kicked off to start the game, and he's on now to punt, and is that a delay? The clock is down to 0.
Matt Williams back. We didn't call his name too much last week. He had a couple of catches last week, and talking with Matt Mitchell, he just didn't have a good game. Missed some reads, was a little quick on some two-person routes, and said he just didn't practice real well. I think we're going to see some good things out of him tonight. Coach Mitchell said he had a good week of practice.
Well, he got banged up. We were talking before the game. He fell hard on a play that almost produced a touchdown for Grand Valley, and he had a huge, huge bruise on his hip. He showed it to me when I was at the practice center the other day. We were doing a feature on Joel Skipper. This ball might be returnable for Matt. He's going to let it go. This is a great break here for the Lake Erie Storm as it's down at the 2-yard line. Nice job by Music. So Grand Valley leads at 7-0, 3 minutes on here on the Grand Valley Sports Network.
When it comes to care for you and your family, At Metro Health, we're committed to providing better. Better means a network of primary care physicians throughout the area, ready to see you when you need to be seen, and access to the most advanced electronic medical record system when you don't. Better primary care means we focus on your health, so you can focus on your life. Metro Health. Better all around.
There's a phenomenon at Grand Valley State University that is making a lasting impact on our students, the state of Michigan, and beyond. It's called the Laker effect. Lakers understand that one person can make a significant impact. Together, we know we can do even more. That's the Laker effect.
Our mountains challenge us, push us back, knock us down, tell us it can't be done. But then, one day you reach the summit, and you realize the harder the climb, the better the reward. Whatever your mountain, climb on.
Countryside Greenhouse of Allendale grows and sells more than 100,000 mums a year because of our exceptional quality and fantastic pricing with full-size 8-inch mum pots for just $2. Check us out online. Countryside Greenhouse. You will be amazed.
Touchdown, a tight end, Pete Sender on the left side for the Lakers. Goodness gracious. You're going to have to do better than that, Lake Erie, to stay in this contest. It's a pickup from the 2 out to the 17, 15 for Marty Carter. That gives him, if my math is correct, 94 for the game. We have played 3 minutes and 12 seconds.
Well, it's a tough decision right there for Lake Erie. They got Grand Valley pinned deep in their own territory, but with a 79-yard touchdown, they don't want to put too much pressure, too many guys on the line of scrimmage and let Marty Carter do it again. So they backed off of that pressure. But like you said, they're going to have to do some different things up front as Grand Valley's owning the line of scrimmage right now.
Bart Williams looking to throw across the middle. What a great catch that is. It's Erston Smith, I believe. No, it's Nick Dotson. 11, not 10. The wee one. Nick Dotson. Nice ball, nice catch. Good coverage, too, by Lake Erie,
Yeah,
but just well executed.
Marquand Richardson right there on the coverage, but just a perfect throw and a nice catch.
Boy, look at that alley open up. And he also had a short option there, too, and the running back, Terrell Dorsey. Grand Valley gets another first down out to the 32, so they've rooted it out of the shadow of their end zone. They fake the jet sweep there, and instead it's going to be Dorsey, and Dorsey goes down hard. Almost looked like a Thanksgiving wishbone there as he got to the 39-yard line. 6-yard pickup, though, for Terrell Dorsey, and one of the real pleasant surprises for Grand Valley last week, Bob. The fact that he came back, he's feeling much better after having a variety of ailments last year, and it's good to see he hasn't really lost a step.
Not at all. Great to see him healthy. He's a hard runner. It's a smash mouth guy. Marty Carter's not a small guy, but he's the lightning of the Thunder and lightning of the two, and it's nice to be able to have a mix-up between the two.
That's a miscommunication there, and Bart Williams is going to have to eat it. I think Marty Carter either went the wrong way or the quarterback turned the wrong way. It's one of those two guys. We saw it be a little read option, and there was no option for Bart Williams.
Hard for us to read, but by the reaction of Marty Carter, I think he might have gone the wrong way.
I think you're right.
But no harm, no foul. Bart Williams does a nice job of just protecting himself and going down on that broken play. Sets up a 3rd down and 8 for the Lakers.
Well, Lake Erie's got to get to the quarterback here. They know Tiffin had some success in doing it last week. You give Bart Williams time, he is accurate, he's got a big arm. So let's see who's coming here for the Storm. They're bringing a linebacker. Bart Williams steps up. Well, he could have gone a little sooner, but he gets the first down anyway. Beautifully done by Bart Williams, and when you're 6'6" and you get the forward lean, That's 2 yards
That's
plus right there.
You nailed it right there. 6'6", 220 plus pounds, and you get that forward lean, you're going to get the first down. And a nice job. Bart Williams, they brought the blitz. You'll see right here, he just steps up into the pocket, doesn't see anything, sees some running room, and does a nice job of using his body. Some big boys right there on him, but first down for Lakers, big first down for Grand Valley. Nice job by Bart Williams.
No doubt about it. Maurice Hale came up from the secondary, and he thought he was going to put a lick in the quarterback, and he was the one that ended up going backwards. Looks like a change at the line of scrimmage here. Williams becomes a flanker as the tight end steps up. Grand Valley's going to run it here. This is Dorsey trying to keep his legs going forward. Somebody lost a lid, and they lost Terrell Dorsey in the mix. He moves out for 7 yards into Lake Erie territory right at the 49-yard line. That'll be 2nd and 3.
By Dorsey keeping those legs chomping and moving, carrying a host of tacklers right there. Grand Valley's offensive line continues to do a nice job of getting the push. One thing that Tippin had success with last week is doing a lot of stunting up front. Right now, Lake Erie is trying to play a base up front defense, not doing much stunting, not any tackle or end twists. They're going to have to do make some movements to try to confuse this offensive line for Grand Valley.
Well, that time, real nice work done defensively. Again, it was Maurice Hale who made the stop. They moved the defensive back into the gap, and also the guy that we see right there is Keith Love, one of the defensive linemen. It'll be 3rd now and 4. Grand Valley has its 2nd negative yardage play of this drive.
Well, Lake Erie does a nice job of disguising that late blitz. They did a run blitz right there, brought in the safeties from the outside, and just had one too many men for the offensive line to block, creating that short gain for Grand Valley.
If you do blitz inside, sometimes you'll catch one on a running play.
Absolutely.
And it works out just as well. This is a little ball across to Erston Smith, tried to turn the defender around. Straight arm one, down to the 30. First down for the Lakers. Big pickup on the play. 20 yards on the reception to Erston Smith.
What a great double move Erston Smith did to the outside. Brought completely turned around Tony Andrews, the defensive back from South Euclid, Ohio. Wide open on that slant, easy pitch and catch. And then does a nice job using his feet, get some extra yards.
Grand Valley sold the play action fake pretty well. Tony Andrews is out there by himself. He had to give ground. They're playing up tight on the wideouts for Grand Valley. You might see a ball up in the air over somebody's head. They're going to look at Carter instead. Carter's in the open field. Marty Carter is going in for his 2nd touchdown in the ball game. What a hip swivel there at about the 15-yard line that just put the safety away.
I'll tell you, Maurice Hale had nowhere to go. Open field right there. You give Marty Carter that much open field. Maurice Hale really didn't have much to do right there. Couldn't even put a hand on him. A great job of running and a good job again blocking up front. Again, untouched into the end zone goes Marty Carter.
Marty Carter, wow.
Welcome back.
Well, he's got 109 yards on his 2 touchdown runs. He also had a 15-yard run, and Skipper's going to bang this one through. Grand Valley 14, Lake Erie nothing today on the Grand Valley Sports Network.
Countryside Greenhouse of Allendale is having a huge ceramic pottery liquidation sale. Now through the end of October, take an additional 50% off the sale price. Hurry in for the best selection and tremendous savings. Countryside Greenhouse, you will be amazed.
We are the Coors Brewing Company, and our mountain is brewing the world's most refreshing beer. A beer proud enough to wear our name in big, red, scripted letters. That's why we lager, filter, and package cold. Because we believe every climb deserves a refreshing finish. Whatever your mountain, climb on.
There's a phenomenon at Grand Valley State University that is making a lasting impact on our students, the state of Michigan, and beyond. It's called the Laker effect. Lakers understand that one person can make a significant impact. Together, we know we can do even more. That's the Laker effect.
When it comes to care for you and your family, at Metro Health, we're committed to providing better. Better means a network of primary care physicians throughout the area, ready to see you when you need to be seen. and access to the most advanced electronic medical record system when you don't. Better primary care means we focus on your health, so you can focus on your life. Metro Health. Better all around.
All right, Grand Valley with 2 quick strikes, 2 long touchdown runs for Marty Carter. 3 carries, 123 yards in the first 7.5 minutes of this one. This is Joel Skipper getting ready to knock this one away. Puts a good leg into it. It's another high kick, a little shorter this time. And again, this is Rojas. Skips away from one tackler. No, it's not Rojas. Actually, that is Mitchell Tilley, the wide receiver, 31, who was back there. And let's see what this flag is about. And now another flag comes in the middle of a Grand Valley group of individuals, and that can't be good news for the Lakers.
Well, you had Isaiah Wheeler on the kick return, the linebacker from Lake Erie, kind of mixing it up, and Grand Valley putting their hands on him. They should have just kind of left him alone, but somebody put a hand into his face, and I think that's where that little last shove is what got called. It's always the second guy that gets caught in these situations, and I think that's exactly what's going on there. Whether or not they call offsetting, we'll wait to see what these officials come up with.
Which might not be such a bad thing, all things considered, but still Matt Mitchell is thinking we've got them pinned in. It's a pretty long discussion here. I think it might be one of these deals, Bob, where they're going halfway, then they're going to add the 15 back. This is
receiving team, number 24.
Illegal block.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, 18, the receiving team. Both penalties were being forced.
Oh my gosh, they're both against Lake Erie. Here's Marty Carter on the last touchdown run, and no, that's just not going to work. And the defender on the far side of the field just couldn't close in time. That was Dylan Starks over there.
You saw Maurice Hale, like we talked about, the linebacker, defensive back, trying to step up to make that play. He got caught flat-footed. When you get caught flat-footed in open space with Marty Carter, it's going to be tough to touch him.
Well, that's an unusual mark-off all the way back to the 4-yard line. So I guess it was, what, Bob, half the distance and half the distance again.
Exactly.
You got one of those uneven numbers that takes it back inside the 5. Can't make a mistake here if you're the quarterback, John Banyas. 6'3", 207-pound senior, plenty of time on the play clock. I think he's worried about whether or not his guys have it on the right page. Oh, beautiful play by the quarterback. Great call. He's going to get a first down out to the 15-yard line. That was unusual because he was out there by himself. It was almost like a naked bootleg.
You took the words right out of my mouth. A naked boot without the fake. I mean, basically the whole offensive line and everybody went one direction, and whether or not he called his own number here was a broken play. But Alton Voss on the outside just takes his one step in like he should to make sure he gets the seal on the backside.
They hand it off here on first down, and finally making the tackle after a couple of misses. DJ Hogan came back into the play. I think it was Dylan Carroll had the first shot at him, really gummed up the play, and once the running back had to turn back in the other direction, Grand Valley had the posse arriving.
Mr. Tilley did a nice job of making the first 2 guys miss, but that pursuit of Grand Valley's defense just does a nice job. And you see here, nice change of direction right there for the big fella. DeAndre Hogan does a nice job wrapping him up.
Good job by Voss, too, to stay at home. He was protecting. Grand Valley watches this little flip out in the flat. It's not going to do much. And the quarterback, Banyas, really took a knock on that ball. He was in close proximity, and that ball was going end over end to the receiver. It was a smart play, but, man, he paid a price.
This is another play, just a broken play. Banyas looking for his first receiver, doesn't anything, starts to scramble, and then just kicks it out to his wide receiver. One of the things Coach Mitchell said this week is they do some crazy things offensively off of some broken plays and make some big plays out of it. Just got to stay disciplined in your coverages and in your zones to make sure that these big plays, these broken plays, don't turn into big plays.
Boy, one-on-one on the far receiver out there. Banyas is going to not be able to get away. He is brought down from behind. Alton Voss got him at about the 18, so it's going to bring up a 4th down. Nice run on first down from the 4-yard line. Got the Storm a little bit of breathing room, but not much happening after that. And now Williams comes back on, and Let's see if Grand Valley decides to go after. I assume it's going to be Michael Music as we see the replay again. Alton Voss making the stop there. It is Music.
He had a great week last week, averaging over 45 yards a punt. He had a 77-yarder that landed inside the 20-yard line, but we saw him pin Grand Valley back deep. The kicking game so far for Lake Erie doing a nice job.
Grand Valley's coming with some heat. It's a low ball. If Matt can catch this one, and he will, should be returnable, but he's just got nobody out there to help him. Might want to just get down, Matthew. And he does at the 34-yard line. I think really what you do there, you catch it, you go forward until you get within shouting distance of the first guy, and then you just go down.
When you put that much pressure on the punter, you know you're not going to have a whole lot of blocking on the return. Music, again, does a phenomenal job of getting it off quickly, and a nice punt, sending Williams deep and allowing his coverage to take over. Nice job of switching the field.
A lot of coaches see that punt return as a chance for a big play. I think Matt Mitchell with Matt Williams thinks we're not going to mess up. We just want to get it back. We know our offense can move the ball. He's about as sure-handed out there as they come. And he's done a fine job for the last couple of years occupying that role for Grand Valley.
A baseball player in him, fielding those fly balls.
Williams, play action. Nice correction by Brandon Bean. He was lined up for a big hit. He just turned away from it from Marquand Richardson. Nice play fake on first down to Carter, and a pickup of about 9 for the Lakers to the 43.
Marquand, he had an opportunity to really light up Brandon Bean, and he just kind of laid off a little bit. Erston Smith on the outside ran a seam route. He had safety help over the top, which allowed Marquand Richardson to come off his guy and able to really put a lick on there. But a nice job, like you said, Brandon Bean, a big receiver, turning his shoulders, getting upfield.
Play action. Grand Valley looking for a big hit here. Bean is out there. Bean just off his fingertips. I think the strength of the arm of Bart Williams surprised Dylan Starks. He was in good position for a while, but he was kind of loping back there, Bob. And the next thing you know, he looks up, the receiver's behind him, and the ball is going over his head.
Yeah, just didn't get his hips turned as quickly enough as he wanted to. Like you said, he got caught off guard, and a little bit more air underneath that ball. That was 6 points for Grand Valley.
Boy, tight spiral. Bean lays out. We saw him make a catch like that for a touchdown in Big Rapids in the playoffs last year. Grand Valley's going to try to hammer it for the first down, which they get right at the 45-yard line. It's Terrell Dorsey. As the clock ticks down to 4 minutes remaining here in the first half. Mark McNelly is just, he's got a helpless feeling right now because he's getting beaten up front. Grand Valley has run the ball with relative ease. And a lot of the stuff that Lake Erie wants to do offensively is kind of predicated on moving the ball in smaller chunks. And they're not going to have the time to stick with that if it gets out of hand early.
Like we mentioned before, too, they're just not going to be able to line up mano-a-mano against this offensive line for Grand Valley. They're going to have to make some moves and stunts.
This is a ball that's out there. Oh, my goodness, what a catch. A penalty flag down. It is Erston Smith inside the 5 now. There are 2 players tied up. What are they going to call? Interference or holding against the defense, or a push-off against the Grand Valley player?
And I think this call is going away from the catch. It's going on another route and another receiver because it's thrown at the 20-yard line.
Now that was where Smith was. He did a little stop and start, Bob.
Holding. Defense.
Let's see if we can see it again.
Penalty is declined.
On the replay, it's
Roughly
declined.
First down.
I don't know if we're going to see him run through our picture here. But he looks back, Bart Williams does, and Smith had stopped and then took off again. And my goodness, that is big time. Inside the 5. Grand Valley looking to get to the end zone with Marty Carter perhaps for the 3rd time in the first 12 and a half minutes. It's Carter, pops outside. Does he squeeze in? I think he did. Nope, they're going to say down just shy of the goal line. I thought for sure he fell into the end zone, but
it looked like with that pile and that scrum he was going to get in, but what a nice catch that was. The receiver doing a great job of controlling his body, slowing himself enough to be able to get that ball out in front of him and then to be able to make that dive and make that catch.
Boy, and that ball didn't hit the ground. It looked like it was sliding out. You saw Erston with his left arm pull it back in. This is going to be Carter again, I would imagine. Well, this is what happens when, the big man tried to get there but didn't. I don't think Bart Williams had a touchdown last year. and I don't think he's going to get one
Running.
on this drive.
Exactly.
It's kind of an interesting play, but
one of the things I talked to Coach Matt Mitchell about this week is when we saw the success last week of Ali Ajami running the football. Are you going to put in a package for him in the red zone goal line? And he talked about it. I'm surprised that we're not seeing it here. Maybe it's something that's going to be developed and they'll do later on in the season, but this is perfect situation for him.
Jump ball situation for Smith. They're going to throw it in the flat instead. Marty Carter with touchdown number 3. That's a mature call right there, and a nice play by Grand Valley. They looked inside to Erston Smith, and then Marty Carter just snuck away. He's on the board for the 3rd time. It's a 2-yard touchdown toss. Bart Williams to Marty Carter. The Lakers on top 20-0.
Well, the Lake Erie defensive backfield is complaining. They thought that Erston Smith got out there and did an illegal pick to get Marty Carter out on the wing, but no call by the official.
He was so far away from that when it happened, if it happened. Skipper bangs it through. Lakers are up 21. We'll take a timeout. More to come tonight on Xfinity and the Grand Valley Sports Network.
Countryside Greenhouse of Allendale is having a huge ceramic pottery liquidation sale. Now through the end of October, take an additional 50% off the sale price. Hurry in for the best selection and tremendous savings. Countryside Greenhouse, you will be amazed.
We are the Coors Brewing Company, and our mountain is brewing the world's most refreshing beer. A beer proud enough to wear our name in big, red, scripted letters. That's why we lager, filter, and package cold. Because we believe every climb deserves a refreshing finish. Whatever your mountain, climb on.
There's a phenomenon at Grand Valley State University that is making a lasting impact on our students, the state of Michigan, and beyond. It's called the Laker effect. Lakers understand that one person can make a significant impact. Together, we know we can do even more. That's the Laker effect.
When it comes to care for you and your family, at Metro Health, we're committed to providing better. Better means a network of primary care physicians throughout the area, ready to see you when you need to be seen, and access to the most advanced electronic medical record system when you don't. Better primary care means we focus on your health, so you can focus on your life. Metro Health. Better all around.
All right, Grand Valley up 3 scores here in the first period. We've played about 13 minutes, 2:09 left in the quarter. Joel Skipper on to kick it away again from the left hash mark. Grand Valley said they might try to divide the field a little bit more. They've been kicking to their own left, and this is a very accurate high kick. That should be a touchback, and it is. Smart decision made there by the return team for Lake Erie. Let's go back and look at the touchdown again after Tyler Hampton takes a knee. This is Bart Williams. I don't know, Smith is a long ways away from any potential pick play. What's your view of that one, Bob, having seen the replay?
It looked like he came in and put his hands right on that safety or linebacker on the outside, allowing Marty Carter to get wide open. But, again, officials don't call it. There's no penalty.
Well, there's a former pass receiver and known bender of the rules, Bob Mitchell, recognizing that handicraft by Erston Smith. Banya's going to throw the bubble screen out here. Grand Valley plays it well. Nice stop in the secondary by Jacob Studdard, who's really the third corner. And this is one guy who is truly the third corner, Bob, because he'll play on both sides during the game, and he'll play a lot. He's out there right now defensively with Kalen Dunham, who's playing the corner on the far side. Also in there defensively is Deshaun Hurley, who's in there for Goldman right now. Grand Valley shifting some people around. Look out, here comes Voss. And that ball is flipped out. That's one fine completion there for Banyas. It's one Very risky play. That was very nearly a back pass. I think that was just marginally going forward. Short pickup, 3rd down and long.
Interesting how they score this one, either a completion or it looks like almost it was a pitch.
You know, I don't even know what to say about that.
Dangerous play, and that's one of the things that Coach Mitchell had talked about, these broken plays that somehow create opportunities for Lake Erie, but Grand Valley, just their speed and their discipline is just too much right now for Lake Erie.
Grand Valley got a big push from Talley last time. Here's the ball complete for a 1st down. Took a while for that pattern to develop, but Michael Moses to the 30, all the way up to the 40-yard line they're going to give him, it looks like. 1st down for the Lake Erie Storm.
Nice 1st down, big 1st down for Lake Erie. They needed something to happen. John Manez is getting beat up in that backfield there. Does a nice job of delivering the ball right before he gets hit, and the receiver does a nice job of catching and getting that 1st down. Took a long time to develop, which allowed Manez to get hit once again.
Read option, quarterback keeps it. They made a good block on Schlosser, a pickup of about 5. You had a good look at that one, Bob. The middle linebacker coming, and they just churned him, used his own momentum against him, and they duck inside for a nice gain. As the rain starts to fall here, and the students, the sky is as bright as we've seen it almost all night, and there's one cloud above us, making things interesting for those that are outside. I think you got to roll with it if you're a student right now. Banyas throws it out in the flat, caught for a 1st down in Laker territory. Nice grab made there by Jonathan Bell.
Well, like we said again, this is kind of the side yard football that Lake Erie likes to run. Kind of create as you go, making some broken plays turn into something, and they're doing a great job of it right now.
I think it's going to rain for about another 90 seconds, and all these people, well, a lot of them are going down by the scoreboard. They're trying to stay dry momentarily. It looks like it's already easing up. That's the end of the period, though. Grand Valley on top by 3 scores. More to come tonight on Xfinity and the Grand Valley Sports Network.
Many of our customers are repeat customers. Once they travel with Cardinal, they come back time and time again.
Our drivers are the best in the industry. We have so many positive comments about our drivers.
Cardinal Bus, 85 years of safe, reliable, worry-free transportation. Call us at 800-348-7487.
Our mountains challenge us, push us back, knock us down, tell us it can't be done. But then, one day you reach the summit, and you realize the harder the climb, the better the reward. Whatever your mountain, climb on.
When it comes to care for you and your family, at Metro Health, we're committed to providing better. Better means a network of primary care physicians throughout the area, ready to see you when you need to be seen, and access to the most advanced electronic medical record system when you don't. Better primary care means we focus on your health, so you can focus on your life. Metro Health. Better all around.
For a great car buying experience, there's only one place to go, Ziegler Granville Chrysler. Great selection, over 250 new cars, trucks, and SUVs. 200s, 300s, Darts, Caravans, Rams, Wranglers. Great savings. Your lowest prices and payments right up front without the hassle or haggling. Great people, a friendly professional staff committed to your complete satisfaction. And a great location too. Convenient to anywhere on Parkway Place Southwest in Granville. Ziegler Chrysler Granville for a great experience.
Well, the rain has already started to slow. Unfortunately, we've lost a couple of thousand out-of-state students who apparently weren't aware that it rains in West Michigan during the football season. We're back to the action. This ball's on the ground. Oh man, I don't know how the receiver got it because Alton Voss was laying right on top of him. The guy that carried it for the Storm that play, who was that, Bob?
Looks like Devon Hood, number 40. Got him listed as a defensive lineman, but at 6'1", 210 sophomore. But what a fortuitous bounce that was. I mean, you talked about the rain coming down, and one of the things that can happen, this ball's going to get slick, the ground's going to get slick. You got to watch your footing, and you got to make sure you secure the ball. right away, first play, mishandle.
2nd and 16, Banyas getting pressure, and Elton Voss makes his 2nd consecutive tackle for loss this drive. The big man from Florida. What a journey it's been for this kid. His problems and personal woes have been well documented, but he's really turned himself into an outstanding player. And you think about it, a guy who was a big-time major college quarterback recruit, now playing Division II football as a defensive lineman and really enjoying it, has his life together.
Came to Grand Valley to play quarterback, back up, then moved over to the tight end, then switched over to the D-line. Just a great athlete, and like you said, taking everything in stride, and didn't get a chance to play last week.
Here's his buddy, DJ Hogan, who makes another sack. So Lake Erie just marching backwards at the moment. They're going to have to kick it away on 4th down.
That's that D-line we talked about earlier in the program. Just so much depth up there and so many guys that are just doing so many great things. We've mentioned a lot of names so far, and we're going to continue to mention many more as the season progresses.
Michael Music back in. He's been outstanding. Kicking now, line of scrimmage, the 36-yard line. Matt Williams standing back at the 23. I think a marginal helping breeze for the punter. This ball's kind of low. Matt's going to let it bounce, trying to get out of the way. It's going to roll dead at about the 23-yard line. And make sure, Bob, that was the other punter who came on.
Lefty.
Austin Baker. We knew. I was suspicious of that when I saw him take his practice swing with his left leg. I thought that Michael Music might be good. I don't think he's that good. He's not able to go from both sides, but that was indeed Austin Baker. So maybe they felt that per the conditions.
Music doing a nice job.
Yeah.
Like you said, they've got guys switching all over the place in positions. We're seeing guys that are listed as defensive linemen carrying the ball and playing running back. So like we said, the depth of Lake Erie, they have to move some guys around to try to get some depth performance on this field tonight.
This is Marty Carter, pretty vanilla call that'll net Grand Valley about 7 out to the 30, just beyond. Ideally, if you could pick your punter out of the entire pool of people, you'd pick a left footer because the ball's spinning differently for the return man. And if you've ever seen a team with a left-footed kicker, you see a lot of balls that don't act quite right for the return man. Kids just aren't used to, they can't simulate the spin unless you've got a left-footed punter in your program somewhere.
A similar situation coming out for the left-handed quarterback.
Right. Little touch inside here to the tight end. This is the big guy who doesn't get very many calls, Joe Robbins, I think.
Actually, I think that
Dotson again.
Dotson again, yeah. Double one out there on the outside. Did a nice job. Good footwork to avoid the first tackler and get explosive enough to get up to the first down. Grand Valley just kind of methodically moving the football right now, but continuing to control the line of scrimmage.
Grand Valley doesn't have to hurry. They've waited for the rain to slow down. That was just a little gift. It's been a funny sky, and that front moving very quickly to the east here. Bart Williams, 6 on the play clock. Plenty of time. Grand Valley going to run it again. Carter ducked into the hole, got away. Boy, the defender there is a little upset with himself for not making the stop. Christian Cole had him for a loss of maybe 3 or 4, but Marty Carter squirmed away and picked up 2 to make it 2nd and 8 now.
Lake Erie had the right call right there, doing a stunt right to the short side of the field, and the perfect call on that play as Grand Valley ran right into that stunt, allowed the defense to really gang up on that backside and seal off the backside.
Well, we've got the announcer's nightmare here. Grand Valley just checked in with a guy in the wide out position who does not have a number. This is to a wide open Erston Smith. 20, 10, will he get there? He's into the end zone. Erston Smith from Bart Williams, 62 yards, and the Lakers on top, 27-0.
Just a simple post route. Erston Smith does a nice job of just beating his guy off the line of scrimmage and getting behind him, and just an easy pitch and catch right there, showing his speed and getting into the end zone. Great job by Grand Valley. Good protection up front as well.
Skipper on out of the hold of Williams. Snap is down, the kick is up, and the kick is right down the pipe. Grand Valley up 28-0 early. Still a lot more to come tonight on Xfinity in the Grand Valley Sports Network.
I just love the atmosphere, especially being on the Allendale campus. I love the nature, I love going through the trails, and I love the professors. It's just amazing how we can have a class of 25 people. I know every one of my professors by first name basis and can go to office hours and really get to connect with them. So I'm part of the Grand Valley Running Club, and I like to run a lot. I'm also involved in the Student Environmental Coalition, and we do a lot of advocacy and learning about environmental issues. We really like to go out into the woods and do invasive species removals and all these cool, fun, environmentally related activities. To be a Laker is to be an individual that's open-minded, open to new experiences, open to new academic focuses, to new disciplines that really broaden your views on the world around you and how you should think about problems and solutions. I, Brody Craig, am an economics major. I am a runner, I am an environmentalist, and I am a Laker.
Countryside Greenhouse of Allendale is having a huge ceramic pottery liquidation sale. Now through the end of October, take an additional 50% off the sale price. Hurry in for the best selection and tremendous savings. Countryside Greenhouse, you will be amazed.
All right, Skipper again with the ball on the left hash for Grand Valley. Laker kick team. You got guys like McMahon and Postma who are really heroes. What a beautiful sunset. Here's the play action again. Bart steps up and just a flick of the wrist. Impressive ball there. And right on the money.
Tony Andrews having a tough time trying to keep him on the line of scrimmage. You got to, if you're gonna jam him, you got to make sure you step up with him and stay with him. Otherwise, that's going to happen.
You might as well tackle him. This is going to be a touchback again. Nice kick by Skipper. A couple of people went down hard. And they went after the kicker there for Grand Valley, and actually it's I want to say Kyle McMahon again. That's not Kyle McMahon. It's Brendan McMahon, the
Poor
younger
Brendan.
brother
Poor
of Kyle
Brendan.
McMahon. Kyle McMahon had been here for 5 years, and we're still giving him credit.
I feel for him. It's the other way though. I get called Pete Mitchell all the time. Yeah, we talk about that on that matchup on the outside. If you can't jam him on the line of scrimmage, there's no sense in staying up there. You got to back up a little bit, give him underneath. But if you're going to try to jam him on the line, you got to slow him down. Otherwise, that's going to happen all day long.
All right, here is Banyas back at it again. He's had some tough sledding. Boy, he's a gamer though. He has taken some knocks, especially in the last drive. Grand Valley with a 4-man pass rush, and this is just going nowhere. Grand Valley plugged it up really quickly, and I want to see Sonny Haskins was one of the guys there. That ball came loose.
Kyle Schlosser does a nice job of just stepping up into that hole right there. Nice job of filling the gap, and no gain whatsoever. He's a kid that we talked about last week a little bit. He's really done a nice job for Grand Valley. Really smart kid, always in the right position, and he's turned out to be a really good athlete as well.
They've moved Schlosser outside at least to start. He's looking back inside. This is a ball out in the flat there. Boy, super play by Schlosser, and probably a hold on the wideout. Talon Johnson was locked up with a Grand Valley defender down there, and he just more or less tackled him.
It was.
I thought they'd missed it because the flag came in kind of late, but the call was rather obvious.
That was a great job by Jalen Bryant, just coming up to attack that right away and kind of caught the wide receiver off guard on his heels. And when that happens, you just got to go down and it's basically a tackle.
I think if you're Grand Valley, you want to push him back here. No, they're going to decline it.
Holding.
Grant.
Offense. Number 81.
It was Talon Johnson on a hold.
Third down.
Well, we have solved one mystery on that last touchdown play for Grand Valley. They put a receiver into the game of whom we were unaware, at least in terms of right now, is Zach Smith, the freshman from Ohio, wearing 87 in black. And you say Matt Mitchell told you
he talked to him. I was out at practice this week, and back in the day, Coach Mitchell talked about with Coach Martin, not playing freshmen, but if they're going to be able to contribute and be that good,
But this is a big mistake here by Jacob Studdard. It's an underneath ball on 3rd and long, and he was going to get the interference call here. Really no need. If he catches it, he's on the ground anyway, and it's short. So it's going to go against the Lakers. It'll be a first down for Lake Erie College.
Studdard got caught.
Pass interference. Defense. Number 9. The spot foul.
Joe Moran, we got to look at back in the ball game. Grand Valley is running quite a few people in and out.
Studdard in that last one just got kind of caught in no man's land right there, as we see, not knowing whether to play the tackle or try to make the deflection. Thought he could get there in time, but goes through the receiver to do so, setting up the pass interference. And like you said, don't need to do that on 3rd down situation. You got him right in front of you. Just stay back and make the tackle.
Well, you need better recognition of where he is on the field, and it just didn't happen. Grand Valley with a big stop. What a tackle that is. Elton Voss again. That's WWE material right there, where you pick up a 400-pound guy and just toss him on his ear.
Jordan Morgan, the running back, 5'8", 200 pounds from Philadelphia. Philly just got body slammed right there by Elton Voss. Like we said, what a morph job he's done on his body, creating himself from a quarterback to a tight end, now to just a strong defensive end.
I don't think you can throw anything at Elton Voss that he hasn't already faced in his personal life.
Question.
Banyas looking, and he's going to get knocked down again, and guess who? It is again Elton Voss, who's in there right now in tandem with Omama. And it's just an amazing game. This guy is, what's that, his 4th tackle for a loss in the contest, I think, Bob, so far.
Well, you know, like Matt Mitchell talked about earlier this week, he thought that they could just put pressure on this quarterback with 4 guys. And when you're able to do that with just 4 linemen against 5 offensive linemen and having 7 defensive backs, nickel backs, doesn't give a lot for Banyas to throw to. So doing a great job of putting pressure, and here we go again.
Could have been a hold. Instead, it's going to be a sack this time for DJ Hogan. Really, from the outside Omama, you could have made the case that he was tackled as he went in on the quarterback. It's just a jailbreak for Grand Valley now defensively. That defensive line, when you can put pressure on the quarterback with only 4, it's not going to bode well for the offensive side.
Will Rickard, the left tackle, 6'6", 280 pounds from Sandusky, Ohio, just can't keep up with the speed of Sidney Omama. Does a nice job of forcing Banyas up in the pocket, and the rest is done right there by the defensive line in the pursuit.
This could be a returnable ball here. They've got 3 guys back protecting the kicker. And this is Music, I think, who's back in now again. After the lefty kicked the last time. It's a good punt. Matt Williams calling for a fair catch, let it bounce. That ball was touched up near the 38-yard line. I think the referee's made a mistake there. Maybe it wasn't touched. If the ball is touched, the play can continue, but it's going to be Grand Valley ball inside the 30. Timeout on the field, 7:38 till halftime. Grand Valley in charge.
I love what I do, and it's not just a hobby for me. It's a lifestyle. It's a career path. It's how I see my future, and I really do have a passion for what I'm doing. I love the environment and the people that I got to meet along the way. It's such a gorgeous campus, and I feel like I'm right a part of Grand Rapids still, but I get the experience of being at college. But I really love the interactions I have with my classmates and my professors. I get to work with my professor every week, one-on-one, to learn about things that I actually had a passion for. I just got this internship with the Grand Rapids Griffins as one of the game night interns, so I'll be working in the box office with them. But a part of being in that internship, we have the opportunity to work with other departments. I know that I'll be set in the future for a job that I know that I will want to do because I got the opportunity to learn who I am as a person being here at Grand Valley. I'm Kaylee Pete. I'm a hospitality and tourism management major. I'm passionate, I'm driven, I'm a Laker.
We are the Coors Brewing Company, and our mountain is brewing the world's most refreshing beer. A beer proud enough to wear our name in big, red, scripted letters. That's why we lager, filter, and package cold. Because we believe every climb deserves a refreshing finish. Whatever your mountain, climb on.
Nice pink hues there, Bob, and the blues, very nice. Out over the Meadows Golf Course. They had some standing water on the golf course today, so that's an indication of how much it's rained. There's the new library on the campus of Grand Valley State University. Any of you students watching right now, make note of that. So when your parents ask you where the library is, you'll be able to tell them. Grand Valley again with Carter up the middle. He's to the 30. It's a pickup of about 4 from Artie Carter. I was looking down at the sideline earlier. Ali Ajami was down there with the 2 redshirt freshman quarterbacks, Katopka and Krabel, and they all had their bonnets off. The young guys are doing the play indicators down there. Play indications, I guess I should say.
We'll see. I think Bart Williams, at least for this drive to end the half with 7 minutes left, give this offensive line some more time to gel.
So if Grand Valley comes back to the near side, Williams has got time to throw. He's throwing it down the middle. Nice grab by Matt Williams. He's going to get down to the 42-yard line. Matt Williams can elevate. He catches that ball away from his body. It's a nice pickup for the Lakers, and they're on the move again.
Well, Lake Erie has the opposite problem that we talked about earlier with Grand Valley, being able to put pressure with 4. Lake Erie here trying to put pressure on with 4, and Bart Williams sits back and has all the time in the world to find his receiver, break in and open into the open spot in that zone defense that they're trying to run with 7 guys back for Lake Erie. You just got to be able to put pressure on this quarterback to make some plays.
Matt Williams is a nice guy to use on that route. He's a very good catcher of the ball, but he has a good sense about the people around him, and he can avoid hits, it seems like, but maybe a little bit better than some of the other guys. This is Terrell Dorsey up the middle. Look out. Dorsey to the 20, to the 10, forcing his way down inside the 5 to the 3-yard line. A 38-yard pickup for Terrell Dorsey as the Lakers continue to power that ball down the field. The player hurt off the field down near the pylon. It's one of the defensive backs. And I think Dorsey's smiling because he delivered a little bit of a shot at the end of that one. We'll see it here.
Again, a nice job by the offensive line, barely getting touched. Is Dorsey going through that line and does a nice job angling towards the end zone. Doesn't have the speed that Marty Carter has to get to the end zone, but again, that powerful running through some arm tackles and getting it inside the 5-yard line for Grand Valley.
It's a terrible break, and I think the guy who got banged up for Lake Erie is the defender Dylan Starks. In a rather innocent way, he got rolled up a little bit at the end. It wasn't really a shot from Dorsey. Marquand Richardson came along. We'll see it right at the end, and it looks to me like as he's making the tackle, his teammate kind of gets on board for the ride here. And it's, look at this, right at the very last, he just caught himself. Boy, that's not serious. But he went down, he's a tough guy, and you knew right away. Now he's starting to sit up now. So it is indeed Dylan Starks. He's clearly a lower leg injury of some sort. I think he's going to be okay. He's going to get helped up here, and they're going to help him to the sideline. He is going to be done for a while. Boy, that tough loss right there from the football mad town of Fremont, Ohio. Earlier today, Ferris beat Michigan Tech in Houghton 31-28, Bob, or 30-28? We have it on our sheet here. It says 31, so we'll go with that. All the other games are in progress. Saginaw Valley and Northwood playing across the state tonight. Saginaw Valley up 7-0 in the second quarter in Midland. Hillsdale leads Walsh 7-6 also in the second quarter. And Wayne on top of Ashland. First quarter, 6-0. Grand Valley's going to run it with Dorsey, and Dorsey is going to go in for the score. He is across into the end zone, and with 5:40 to go in the period, Terrell Dorsey gets his first score of the night on a 3-yard run. Only seems fair after the work he had done in the previous effort.
Absolutely. Feed the horse, let the workhorse get his 6. A nice job again by the offensive line, controlling the line of scrimmage and allowing Dorsey to power his way in. Grand Valley seemingly unstoppable here in this first half offensively, being able to do anything that they want against this Lake Erie defense.
Williams, nice adjustment there, and Skipper bats it through. It's 35-0 Grand Valley. And we'll keep it here right now. You know, I read one of the comments on one of the blogs, I think it was on d2football.com this week, where somebody from down south said they had watched the Grand Valley game last week, and they said it looked like a team that was playing its 8th game of the season.
Yeah.
Grand Valley did not turn the ball over last week, has not turned the ball over tonight, and the penalties have really been at a minimum so far for Matt Mitchell's squad.
And for last week, only two penalties for Grand Valley. So like you said, just really disciplined, really doing a great job. And defensively, you know, I had mentioned it to Coach Mitchell and some of the alumni as well, is that this defense, with the depth that they have, reminds me of some of the runs that Grand Valley made in the 2000s with some of those great defenses that won some national championships. Grand Valley's got the good fortune of having so much depth at the front 7 position, and then defensive backs as well. We've got so much time playing last year. Grand Valley seems like you said, clicking on all cylinders early in the season.
Skipper again nails this one midway through the end zone. It's going to be another touchback for Joel Skipper, and Laker fans down in the end zone with the
little bit of a taunt.
Gave the raspberry to the kick return team. Let's take a look at what Grand Valley has done defensively. It's the guys with the small numbers, like this one right here, Sidney Omama, wearing number 3, and here's Alton Voss getting his jersey held. You could see that as he went by, with help from Dylan Carroll. And then later, DJ Hogan, number 5, stepping in. Voss again, another hit on Banyas. And we are just about back to the action here. On first down, they're going to hand it off, and here's David Talley stopping the ball carrier for a loss on the play. They gave it to Jordan Morgan there, and just not much there, Bob.
Well, a little bit of a jet sweep action there and trying to catch Grand Valley outflanked, but the team speed and Talley, tremendous speed for a linebacker, doing a great job of closing in on Morgan, tackling for a 3-yard loss. So one thing that this defense has as well is just the team speed across the board. Up front with the defensive line and the linebackers as well.
Nice play here by Banyas, who gets back to the original line of scrimmage and maybe a yard extra. Little read option there, but you got to keep your quarterback upright. It's a long season if you're Mark McNally, and you want your guys to compete. I don't really know what the answer is, because there is no good answer.
No, it's what they do. They run the read option. They're going to continue doing it, and Banyas has got to kind of take his licks a little bit, but also be smart when he's in the open field and gets his yardage to take the slides like he's done a little bit before. But this is what they do. This is their offense. They can't really shy away from it because they're getting beat up front.
Banyas steps up, makes a good throw into double coverage. Grand Valley had some people there, though, to knock that one away, and one of the guys for the Lakers who was in the area was Deshaun Hurley, the sophomore from Chicago.
That was that tight end you mentioned earlier, Anthony Kukwa, 6'3", 221-pound senior, preseason All-American from Perry, Ohio. Just gets sandwiched right there. Great job defensively, coming off of your receiver from the outside, putting on the hit and breaking up that ball.
Fourth down, another kicking opportunity here for Michael Music. Mac Williams back at about the 36-yard line of Grand Valley. Grand Valley has got 10 lined up across the front. If you want to check and see, well, they're not coming really, though. They just faked it. This is a directional kick that Williams is going to get at the 35. Can he get up the sideline? No, he cannot. Grand Valley will start 1st and 10 from the 37 with 4:16 to go, and the Lakers still with plenty of time to knock one in here before the first half ends.
Well, that was Lake Erie's 5th punt of the half. Grand Valley yet to bring out their punting team, and just goes to show the dominance of the Grand Valley offense thus far and the defense for Grand Valley, clicking on all cylinders like we had mentioned earlier.
Yeah, we think Dan Madden would probably be the punter for Grand Valley, or they've got a couple different guys that they've used already, but
they better be stretching there on the sidelines. They don't want to come out here and pull anything after not having to be used all.
Okay, to tell you the truth, we don't even know if Grand Valley has a punter in uniform tonight. No, we think they do, and they'll probably get to him. Grand Valley, this is Lumpkin, the speed demon, out to the 46. He was about one more stride away from really moving that one downfield.
Yeah, the right side of that offensive line doing a nice job. Nick Fish and Evan Schreiner doing a good job of sealing on that outside. And Lumpkin just got to hit that hole a little bit quicker to get it to the outside, but does a nice job gaining 8 yards.
A little bit wet out there right now. We can see some moisture in the field. The field drains pretty well. Grand Valley's just going to run it again. This is a first down to midfield. It's Marty Carter, who's had an amazing first half. 78, actually 79 on the first play of the game from scrimmage, untouched right up the middle. That just has to be devastating, I think, not only for a team, but for the coaching staff. You've game planned, you've come out with an idea, you've sold your team on this idea that this is how it's going to be, but we've got to do this. Grand Valley gets the ball, one play, and it's a lead they probably won't surrender here
Absolutely.
tonight.
You said it earlier in the broadcast, too. It happened last year in the playoffs against Colorado Pueblo.
Over the middle, this ball very nearly intercepted. I think Nick Dodson felt he was getting held up at the line of scrimmage by the linebacker, Isaiah Wheeler, who I think just did a good job.
Absolutely. Back-to-back really nice plays by Isaiah Wheeler. The previous play doing a nice job of breaking down and tackling Marty Carter in somewhat open field, and right there does a nice job of staying on the inside shoulder there, not allowing Dodson to get to the ball.
Carter has got some space this time, but a nice close there. One of the guys that got there was number 15 in white, and that is the defensive lineman Jason Rogers. Not in the old days, Bob, when defensive linemen wore
the
70s. If you're playing the interior defensive line, you were wearing 72 or 4 or something like that.
I remember Coach Denbrock coming to me my freshman year, asked me what number I wanted, and there was no question. You're a tight end. You're in the 80s. I'll take 89. I couldn't even fathom a 2, a 1, a 3.
Oh, the defensive lineman was single digits. That's kind of bizarre. Is that ball caught? No, it is not. Defender all over the intended receiver on third down. Grand Valley's going to kick this one away, and we will find out right now who will be the first guy to kick for Grand Valley tonight. And as I suggested a couple of moments ago, it is Dan Madden, the redshirt freshman from Parma Heights, Ohio.
Give Marquand Richardson a nice job right there on that outside, breaking up that pass. Did a nice job of breaking down on that out route. Receiver doing a good job of getting right to that first down marker. But Richardson right there to break it up.
That's a good snap. Grand Valley's going to go for the rugby kick, and it's a pretty nicely done one. Can Grand Valley get there, keep it out of the end zone? You got to turn around, fellas. Oh, my goodness. And what was going on down there with Jalen Harden? He never came back and looked at the ball. And now we've got a skirmish on the sideline. Now they're going to sort this out.
Coach Mitchell does a nice job of getting that player from Lake Erie off of his bench. It's Jacob Toure. Had a nice play the previous play of coming up and making a tackle, but getting mixed up in the sidelines, and Coach Matt Mitchell did a nice job of sealing off his players, getting that player off the bench, and no flags, no harm, no foul.
Well, let's see if we're going to go to the break now here. We'll talk to the guys downstairs. Matt Mitchell's going to sift it out. Well, we will go to a break right now. Nothing happened really too much. We're coming back with more after this.
Literally outside the door of my office, I can be in an environment that could be 1,000 miles away from Grand Valley. There's some very remote trails out there, and every season they change completely. You hardly see anybody out there. And these deep ravines that have been carved through erosion down to the Grand River, it's an incredible environment. And I don't have to convince my students of that. As soon as we get out there, in the winter they're a little scared. We might die out there, Professor. I say, no. So they've got the appropriate equipment, but we go hiking out there every season for a couple of hours, including in deep snow, including in blizzards, and it's an empowering experience for those students, right? You should see the look on their faces when we come back, all red and glowing. And then you've got a jazz trio. Both the courses I teach are taught to first-year students in the Honours College. They both last the entire school year. So I meet these students on the first day of their university lives, and I say goodbye to them on the last day of their first year. The subject matter is important, but more than that, I think these are sort of introduction to university life courses. So we incorporate as many experiences outside of the classroom as possible. And we go to Chicago on day trips, we go hiking a lot, and the overall thing is just your ability to critically evaluate the world and think about the world just improves exponentially over the course of a year. My name is Craig Benjamin. I'm a professor of history in the Maya Honours College. I'm a scholar, I am a musician, I'm a mountain climber, and I am a Laker.
Well, these are the Hardy fans who stuck around through that rain squall that we had briefly in the early part of the second quarter. Can't tell if it's raining again now, Bob. I don't think it is. But 4 wide here. Lake Erie looking to make a splash before the end of the half. The quarterback's going to try to get out and run with it. He's got to get down on the ground. Banyas got to the 15. Pick up on the play of about 5 yards. I think there must have been a penalty on that play, Bob, because they were starting from the 10-yard line.
Yeah, they called a personal foul against Lake Erie. I'm not sure exactly if it was on the sidelines or if it was something that happened over towards the end zone where the ball was at.
Grand Valley fans making some noise down in the south end zone. Banyas, quick release out here. This one's not going anywhere fast. Nice hit over there on the sideline for the Lakers. Some good defensive coverage by Goldman on Mitchell Tilley.
Great job. We got Grand Valley with some second team defensive linemen in there with McBride and Rosenquist coming out. And great job of putting pressure. Now they come in with a fresh new crew.
Well, that looked a little bit like a fire drill. Banyas got away for a moment. He'll get the first down, I think. Well,
that slide, he should be short, about a yard.
Short. They're marking him. Well, they got to give it to him. No, they're not. They're saying 4th down.
Good job.
He gave himself up a little bit early.
Looked like Schlosser had him dead to rights there. Nice job by Banyas, eluding on the outside. Getting close to that first down, but yeah, he goes down just shy.
Okay, now Grand Valley, they're sending the punt team out. They were huddled around the coach. If ever you were going to think that a play was on here, what do you got to lose? I think they might just be taking a penalty here with the clock running down the final minute of the first half. Play clock is down to 2, down to 1. They're going to take the 5-yard walk-off.
I think Coach McNally called a timeout right before the play clock expired.
Let's take a look at how Grand Valley has done it here tonight. Early on, Marty Carter started right, cut back left, went right down the seam of the field. 79 yards for a score. 14 seconds in, it was 7-0 in favor of the Lakers. After that, Grand Valley with Carter again. It's his second long jaunt of the night, 30 yards out. 7 minutes in, 14-0. And then Bart Williams to Carter for a 2-yard touchdown pass. Later, the big bomb, 63 yards. Erston Smith on the receiving end of this touchdown pass. And then a short while ago, Terrell Dorsey knocks it in, a short touchdown run to make it 35-0. The punt team's back out there. Grand Valley looks like they're going to go after it. This might be overkill by the Lakers. They are coming. Oh, he fumbles it. Goes down. The ball is recovered, and there's still 25 seconds left in the first half. And what just was an absolute disaster has turned into an utter catastrophe for the visitors from Lake Erie College.
Well, they say when it rains, it pours, and it rained and it poured earlier. And right there, just a mishandle on a good snap back to the punter, and just got to do a better job of concentrating, catching that ball and getting rid of it. Grand Valley was coming with some heat, but this is going to allow Grand Valley with 25 seconds left and full allotment of their timeouts, all three, just kind of opens up the playbook as they're going to come in here and try to punch in one more before the half.
Well, if Chuck Martin were still here, this would be a fade to the corner of the end zone.
It'd be 3 or 4 in a row.
And it's teed up for Matt Williams because the defensive back is playing on his inside shoulder. Let's see if Matt Mitchell remembers those days. Man in motion. Jet sweep. It's going to be Bean going in for the score. Holy cow. Brandon Bean came from the wide out position on the far side. And if you're Lake Erie, you just want to go home right now. 41-0 Grand Valley after, I'm not sure you could call that a block punt. It was just a mishandle and a sack on the punt. And then on the first play, with Lake Erie obviously looking for a ball up in the air, Brandon Bean, the man in motion, took it, got a block on the edge, and moved in from 5 yards out. DeLuca, the snapper, Williams, the holder. The kick by Joel Skipper is up and through, and the Lakers have made it a 42-0 lead here with 18.2 seconds left. Who gets the block out there on the edge? I think it was Pete Sender, the tight end, who at least turned that man a little bit, Bob, and forced him outside the path of Brandon Bean.
Allowed Brandon Bean to use his speed with that big size to get to that end zone. And right now, if you're Coach McNally from Lake Erie, not a whole lot to put your hat on. You're going to go into halftime down 42-0. And the one thing you want to see as a head coach is you want to see your kids coming out and just continue to compete. I mean, they're getting it handed to them right now, but you don't want to see any quitting any of your players. You want to see them come out and compete. You're going to see a host of Grand Valley second teamers coming out here. McNally's just got to go back in, just basically let them know, hey, it's a 0-0 ball game. Continue to compete. Let's try to win the second half.
Skipper's got it pegged again here at the 35, but you can tell from the body language it's not good right now for the Storm. Trying hard, but just not much happening. I wonder if Skipper might put this one on the ground instead of trying to kick it deep. Now he's going up in the air. Going to knock it into the end zone. They might as well. They're going to take a knee. Whoa. It was an interesting decision by Tony Andrews. He started out and then stopped, and you know what happens, Bob, sometimes? Sometimes they just barely get out, put the knee down, and then they're down at the 6-inch line. But with 18 seconds remaining, I don't think it's really going to matter.
Yeah, you said it right there. Nice job on the outside, just enough of a block to get him to the edge. And Brandon Bean does a nice job. Don't see him running many in on a run plays. Usually he's catching them and putting them in.
He is a track guy, though, a hurdler, Brandon Bean, so he's got some wheels.
Great athlete.
Grand Valley's going to just drift some people back. I'm surprised they don't have people back on the other side of the 50-yard line. What's Banyas going to do here? They're going to try to make a play. They're going to run the football. And it's a nice run for about 9 or 10 yards. A hat came off for somebody there. It was the ball carrier who lost his lid, Jordan Morgan. And I can't believe somebody called timeout. They just stop
down.
it to move the chain. The clock will wind again here. Everybody's down in the three-point stance, and the referee's way out on the flank. And the clock actually went backwards a little bit, Bob, from 11.2 to 11.5.
Interesting call here. I'm not exactly sure what the delay is.
Helmet came off Lake Erie player.
Somebody thought maybe a timeout was called.
10-second runoff over Lake Erie. It's great to use a timeout to avoid that. Timeout, Lake Erie, their second of the half.
Lake Erie took a timeout, so they haven't shown an ability to really throw it way down the field. I hope they just take a knee here and everybody can go in and towel off.
Yeah. I mean, there's no quit. I mean, I kind of like the call. McNally does not want to quit. He's got something going offensively, a couple of first downs, and wants to really show his offense that going into the half they can move the ball a little bit coming out in the second half.
Well, you've got to take this as almost like a practice session
Absolutely.
right now. You've got to get some reps. You've got to get some confidence. And for Mark McNally, you've got to find out what guys you can count on going forward, because after this week, you think there's going to have to be some changes if they're going to be competitive in this league this year. And let's point out, this team probably should have won its opener against Northern Michigan, was ahead, played great in the first half, had almost 30 points at halftime, a 15-point lead. It slipped away. Had some turnover problems, and they were beaten 38-35. But tonight they're just up against a superior workforce. Grand Valley's got some people running around. They're dropping people. Got to believe he's going to try to knock this one down the field a little bit. Now it's, the ball's on the deck. Grand Valley's got it. Can Grand Valley call timeout?
Well, change of possession. The clock's going to stop, and it's not going to start again until the next snap. So you've got an opportunity to either kick a long field goal or try to
It's a little longer. Well, it's not that long. I mean, it would be about 46 yards.
This is a good opportunity for the offense to try to get a quick 5, 6, 7, 8 yards on a quick out and then bring in your kicker and allow the kicker to try to do something. Right now,
I think they'd like about 10 more yards for Joel Skipper to feel comfortable, but it's got to be one quick shot. Now Grand Valley's just going to go
they're going to take
victory formation here. They're not going to press the issue. That's kind of sporting. Now, wait a minute. Matt Mitchell's saying
he wants to give his kicker a chance.
Why not?
I don't blame him. I mean, this is a situation. It's a game situation, and you want to. Skipper's going to be called upon down the road to try to make some kicks.
He's going to have to hit a big one. Yeah,
absolutely. So
he had a miss last year at Shepherd early in the game. Grand Valley ended up losing that game by 2 points. Not to suggest that loss was his fault, but
not.
you got to collect them when you can get them.
Yep.
This is going to be maybe the longest career field goal attempt for Joel Skipper. We'll have to check at halftime. Line of scrimmage is going to be it's going to be about a 46-yard try. If he can get a good plant.
One of the things we talked about Joel and him being a senior, we talked about last week how quickly these 4 years have gone by, but he's put in a lot of work over the last couple of years on his legs and his core to try to be able to do all the kickoffs and put him in the end zone. And we'll see right here if he's done, how much work he's done to see if he can split the uprights right here from right about 46 yards.
Grand Valley's got plenty of time on the clock. Matt Williams making sure his guy is ready. DeLuca on the snap. It's a good snap, a good hold. The kick is up. It's got something on it, but it's just wide to the right as it fades off, and Skipper misses with 2.3 seconds now left here in the first half. Well, we were out to practice to do a story for the Grand Valley State Sports Report on Joel Skipper this week, and he said, well, I've had a great career at Grand Valley, but I got to tell you, I still think about throwing one for a touchdown or running one in. He said, you never know. I'm always hopeful, thinking this will be the day I'm going to come to practice, and Coach Mitch is going to say, hey, we've got a new play. But it hasn't happened yet.
Wow.
And Matt Mitchell is the guy that works with special teams at Grand Valley, and he really prides himself at looking at a lot of tape and seeing what stuff is available.
How important that kid is, though, to this team and this run that they want to make in this senior year. I don't see him taking any chances on putting Joel in any harm's way.
42-0 right now. This will be the final play, we would think, absent a penalty. Or, I guess, a touchdown. Quarterback's going to keep it. Got a little option. And he's going to go down at the 35-yard line, maybe a 6-yard pickup for Banyas to end the first half. So the Lakers with 6 opening half touchdowns here. Marty Carter was sensational. The defense was good. And the scoreboard tells you the story. It's the Lakers 42, Lake Erie nothing. We're coming back with more tonight on Xfinity and the Grand Valley Sports Network.
There's a phenomenon at Grand Valley State University that is making a lasting impact on our students, the state of Michigan, and beyond. It's called the Laker effect. Lakers understand that one person can make a significant impact. Together, we know we can do even more. That's the Laker effect.
We are the Coors Brewing Company, and our mountain is brewing the world's most refreshing beer. A beer proud enough to wear our name in big, red, scripted letters. That's why we lager, filter, and package cold. Because we believe every climb deserves a refreshing finish. Whatever your mountain, climb on.
When it comes to care for you and your family, at Metro Health, we're committed to providing better. Better means a network of primary care physicians throughout the area, ready to see you when you need to be seen, and access to the most advanced electronic medical record system when you don't. Better primary care means we focus on your health, so you can focus on your life. Metro Health. Better all around.
Countryside Greenhouse of Allendale is having a huge ceramic pottery liquidation sale. Now through the end of October, take an additional 50% off the sale price. Hurry in for the best selection and tremendous savings. Countryside Greenhouse, you will be amazed.
Six quarters of football for Grand Valley so far this season, nearly 90 points. That means almost 2 touchdowns a quarter all the way through, and nobody has really even slowed down Grand Valley yet. Another outstanding offensive showing tonight, Bob.
Yeah, and they haven't killed themselves. We talked about the lack of penalties, only 2 penalties last week, very few penalties this week, and no turnovers for the offense, and the defense continues to dominate the line of scrimmage.
Well, there are always championship aspirations here in Allendale with all the sports teams, and one of the teams that we always talk about in that regard is the women's soccer squad, which is playing right now, this weekend, I should say, in Minnesota. They won yesterday 8-0. They play again tomorrow against Minnesota State in what will be one of their biggest games of the year. Earlier, we had a chance to visit with Grand Valley's soccer coach, the man who's won 2 national championships in his first 2 seasons. Let's enjoy hearing now from Jeff Hostler. Prior to the start of the 2016 season, Grand Valley had appeared in Division II soccer Final Four 7 consecutive times, making the championship game 6 times and winning 5 titles. But as the current year began, the last thing Coach Jeff Hostler wanted to do was talk about national championships.
Our hope this year is to focus on the day-to-day, each training session as it comes, each practice as it comes, each match, and build and learn lessons through successful attempts, understanding that hopefully that'll lead to the grand finale in December.
Hostler is now in his 3rd season as the Grand Valley coach, and while his first 2 teams did win national titles, both his championship teams benefited from good fortune during NCAA play. 2 years ago, Grand Valley won in sudden death in a game in Wisconsin against an unbeaten side, and last year his usually stingy defensive team won a game despite allowing 2 goals.
Our senior class has won 3 national championships. They know what it takes to achieve that. And they've got to focus on the day-to-day, because if they don't do that and just put one foot in front of the other and look off into the distance for something else, we can lose a game to Ohio Dominican. We can lose 3-0 on the road at Quincy and have some of those setbacks.
Hostler and the Lakers are hoping for a little good fortune this year as well. There's little question about Grand Valley's talent. 2-time National Player of the Year Marty Corby is back for her final season, along with a wealth of other goal-scoring talent. But good health may ultimately determine the Lakers' fate this season, as a number of players have been working to overcome injuries and health woes.
The injury part we can't control. We can do our best to work on different manipulation things and strength training things to have their bodies prepared. But some of that stuff's entirely unpredictable. And so as long as we have a good understanding as a group, and particularly with our players that maybe aren't in that first 11, making sure they're prepared and ready to step right in a moment's notice.
With Corby likely to be targeted by opponents all year long for special treatment, Grand Valley will probably have to get more scoring production from seniors Kendra Stauffer and Jama Martin, along with junior Gabriella Mancati and Samantha Riga, who had a productive freshman season that included a 2-goal game against Quincy in the NCAA tournament.
The big thing for Marty is to be focused on the season and what she does here, and having a good season in a Laker uniform as a senior is going to be her best audition for any of those opportunities. And she knows that, and I think she's going to be mentally and physically prepared for that. But making sure her, just like everyone else on our team, we're focused on each day as it comes.
The Lakers hope the return to full-time duty of Erica Bradfield and Alexis Mancati will make this defense strong enough to relieve the pressure on Emily Marish, who returns from off-season surgery, and backup Jen Steinaway.
She had a great spring. She was our number 1 in the spring, was phenomenal. Emily obviously coming off a great freshman year, will be competing in that role as well. And you're right, Alexis Mancati and Erica Bradfield have been through a lot physically with injury. It's been a long rehab process, but are both feeling as strong as they have in their entire careers.
Last December, the soccer team became the first Grand Valley squad to win 3 straight national titles. There may be talk about another national title this year, but in Jeff Hostler's locker room, it won't begin until and unless the Lakers find themselves with a spot in the championship game this December. By the score of 42-0, the band performing. They are large in numbers again this year, and of course, if you're a fan of Grand Valley and the band, you'll be happy to know that there is a new featured twirler this year for Grand Valley. It's Carolyn Gregory, the freshman from Walled Lake, who's been putting on quite a display. She's on the field tonight. Hopefully we'll have a chance to see her as time goes on. Trying to keep our crew dry up on top. The Lakers are toweling off in the locker room right now. It's Grand Valley 42, Lake Erie College nothing. We're coming back with more tonight from Allendale, Michigan.
be here on this campus, I know with every grain, every strand of my body that there is not a better university for me out there. I know that.
The environment, of course, just, look around this campus. I love this environment. The fact that right outside my door there is a huge area of wilderness.
Being part of the Laker community entails a certain accountability to make sure that it's always growing and is always becoming better. So for me, being a Laker, it means always striving to be a better person for myself and for my community.
One of the phrases that's really resonated for me was being a Laker for a lifetime. Even as a doctor, I want to be a Laker.
If you're interested in research, Grand Valley provides really comprehensive classes with small class sizes to allow students to get a lot of hands-on work.
My support extends beyond just the classroom. I love talking to colleagues to find the next position for students. I have the job that I've always dreamed of having. This is where I want to be. I don't need to network for me anymore. I network for my students.
I chose Grand Valley because of the location. I just love the atmosphere. I love the nature. I love going through the trails, and the location to Lake Michigan, to a big city, it's all just worked very well for me.
We have the CHS building here, which we'd have like a little hospital to have all of the access to all of these different things that are going to be set up in a hospital where I'm going to be working. Like, it's just so awesome.
Once you study abroad, you start to realize that there is a much bigger world out there. If we had been born to stay in one spot, we would have been born with roots and not feet.
There are so many things to get involved with, and I really love that. I think that any student who comes here, the opportunities are there. You just have to step into it.
You're never going to be just a physical therapist or just a hospitality tourism major. You're also a dancer, or you're a flute player, or you're a rock climber, or whatever. Whatever skills you have, you owe it to yourself and to the world to a certain extent to develop these potentials.
Grand Valley's quite well known, well respected, and well regarded. Well, I think as a direct result of the education I got at Grand Valley has enabled me to be able to have an impact on the lives of not only my community, but on the entire world, and that's pretty amazing.
That's the Laker effect.
Party Troopers, members of the National Championship Grand Valley dance team. They made it through the rain. So did this guy right here, Brandon Bean, with his touchdown. They made it 42-0 at the end of the second quarter. And the Grand Valley band continuing to perform. The rain coming down still rather lightly, but it's obviously going to have an effect. You see it cooling up a little bit on the field as Grand Valley still has 30 minutes to go to put this one in the win column. But right now, Grand Valley playing very inspired football on both sides, and I think that looks a little bit worse than it really is. But it is a wet night here, and it's going to be a little bit slippery here for the final two periods of action tonight in Allendale. Marty Carter in the first half. First two runs, well, actually his first three runs were spectacular, 79, 30, and 15 yards. He had three scores before most people had finished the first hot dog of the evening. After that, Erston Smith caught a 62-yard touchdown pass from Bart Williams. Terrell Dorsey, a 3-yard run. Skipper added all the extra points, and then finally the Brandon Bean touchdown, which came after Grand Valley rushed the punter with about 30 seconds left in the first half. The ball was bobbled. Grand Valley recorded a tackle for loss. And then on the first play, it was Brandon Bean who was able to knock it in. So Grand Valley just firing away on all cylinders. The Lakers had about 320 yards of offense in the first half. Here we see Alton Voss getting one of his tackles for a loss along with Dylan Carroll. A little bit later, DeAndre Hogan fights off a block. Sacks the quarterback, Banyas. Voss again for Grand Valley. And then DJ Hogan again making it happen. On the other side of the ball, we talked about Grand Valley's quick strike ability. And on the first play of the game, look at this. Right up the middle, not the most nuanced play you'll ever see, but the defenders for Lake Erie moving in the wrong direction, and Marty Carter just sprints to the end zone. He does pretty much the same thing again. 2 long touchdown runs where he was never touched, and then catches the pass from Bard Williams there for his 3rd score of the night. This is maybe the play of the evening for Grand Valley in the passing game. Bard Williams to Erston Smith, outruns the defender Tony Andrews to the end zone. Dorsey, who was great last week with 15 carries for 100 yards, gets to the end zone thanks to a block from Pete Sender there. And then at the very last, Brandon Bean going in on the flanker reverse, the jet sweep down in front of the student section there. And the Lakers move it out to the margin, which they currently enjoy, 42-0. Grand Valley 319 total yards offensively in the first half, no turnovers. And for Lake Erie, 20 offensive plays, only 75 yards. Just not a whole lot going on in that regard. Carter carried it 6 times for 134 yards, 2 touchdowns on the ground, 1 in the air. And Bard Williams, 8 attempts, 7 completions, 167 yards, 2 scores. The long ball was the 62-yarder to Erston Smith. Tackles for Grand Valley, Hogan with 4, Elton Voss with 3. Likewise, that same number for Marquez Goldman and Sidney Omama. And Grand Valley just dominating in every facet of the contest here so far. The band will make its way back up to the band section in the corner, I should say, of the student end zone. And the crowd thinning out a little bit, but we still got a lot of time and a lot of football yet to be played. We'll probably see a lot of newcomers here in the final 2 periods. Right now, Grand Valley 42, Lake Erie nothing. More to come tonight on Xfinity and the Grand Valley Sports Network.
Something that you're passionate about and pursue that. It's really about finding a specialized thing that makes you feel excited to wake up and go to school. I chose Grand Valley because I wanted to be at a university where the class sizes were a little bit smaller, and I wanted to be able to foster intimate relationships with my professor where I knew that they really cared about me as an individual. It's important for there to be a person that you can relate to emotionally, but you also really need that academic support because you're making a lot of really big life decisions. I had a vague interest in a gen ed class, and I took it and I ended up falling in love, and that's how I found my major. And I continue to take classes like for liberal education purposes, and I find that I'm learning things that are really valuable in my major. Being here has really forced me to find my creative voice and confidence and courage in following that. I'm also really passionate about literacy. I think it's really important for there to be ways for you to learn about other people's stories as well as be able to record your own. I interned at the Creative Youth Center, which is a nonprofit that specializes in literacy and creativity. And being in a space that really values creativity as a means of self-expression, I think has really helped me grow as a person and find my own confidence, as well as help me find a passion in helping other people follow their passions and follow their creativities to record their own stories. It's a really empowering space for young kids, and I think that's what makes it just as empowering for college students. A lot of the things that we're helping the kids learn and discover on their own, we're also learning and discovering in the university, which I think creates this really special relationship between us and the kids. For me, being a Laker, it means always striving to be a better person for myself and for my community. I'm Shukri. I am a Women and Gender Studies major. I am a volunteer, I am a writer, and I am a Laker.
Many of our customers are repeat customers. Once they travel with Cardinal, they come back time and time again.
Our drivers are the best in the industry. We have so many positive comments about our drivers.
Cardinal Bus, 85 years of safe, reliable, worry-free transportation. Call us at 800-348-7487.
Our mountains challenge us, push us back, knock us down, tell us it can't be done. But then, one day you reach the summit, and you realize the harder the climb, the better the reward. Whatever your mountain, climb on.
When it comes to care for you and your family, at Metro Health, we're committed to providing better. Better means a network of primary care physicians throughout the area, ready to see you when you need to be seen, and access to the most advanced electronic medical record system when you don't. Better primary care means we focus on your health, so you can focus on your life. Metro Health. Better all around.
For a great car buying experience, there's only one place to go, Ziegler Granville Chrysler. Great selection, over 250 new cars, trucks, and SUVs. 200s, 300s, Darts, Caravans, Rams, Wranglers. Great savings. Your lowest prices and payments right up front without the hassle or haggling. Great people, a friendly professional staff committed to your complete satisfaction. And a great location too. Convenient to anywhere on Parkway Place Southwest in Granville. Ziegler Chrysler Granville for a great experience.
All right, still a few minutes away from the start of second half action here tonight. Tom Cleary with you on the Grand Valley Sports Network. Grand Valley leading it by the score of 42-0. My broadcast partner, Bob Mitchell, is down on the field right now with head coach Matt Mitchell. And let's go down and visit with those two gentlemen right now. Bob.
Well, Coach, everything went right in the first half. Offense, defense, special teams. Let's start with the offense. Tell me what you saw out there.
It's obviously off to a great start with Martavius Carter. You know, he didn't play a lot last week just based on an injury, and to get him out there and get the 3 touchdowns was really big for him. He's only a sophomore, and he still has to get better. And then I'm really happy for Urston Smith. I mean, he had a great camp, and he's going to continue to make plays. He's kind of our go-to guy right now. So I thought we protected Bart a little better. A couple miscues offensively, but hard to argue with the production that we had in the first half.
Give us a little background. We were scrambling up top trying to find this new freshman. We couldn't find number 87 anywhere on the roster. Tell us a little bit about the freshman.
Well, Zach Smith is a freshman from Toledo, Ohio. Has had a great camp. And I know we have some depth at that position, but we felt like he's earned the right to play. So we threw him out there in some openers, and he'll be out here a lot here in the second half. You know, I look back last year at Nick Dotson. He didn't play a lot at the beginning of the season, but we made the playoffs. He was one of our main guys. So Zach's earned the right to play, even though he's a true freshman. We're going to put him out there.
Defensively, doing a great job putting pressure with 4, which you talked about earlier in the week, and able to cover in the backfield.
Yeah, exactly. I think we're getting great penetration out of our 4 guys. They haven't really done straight 5-step stuff. They've been doing some other things, and we've really done a good job hitting the quarterback, which has been key. So we just got to get our return cleaned up. I'm not real happy with our punt return, kickoff return. We need more yardage on that end of the thing. So second half will be all reserves, but we're going to keep our call. We're going to throw the ball at Ollie. We need to develop our wide receivers. We need to develop our offensive line, and we'll get a ton of young kids out there on defense, and we'll call our calls. So there won't be any changes how we coach or call, just some new faces for Grand Valley.
Always something to work on. Good luck in second half, Coach. Back to you, Tom.
All right, thank you, Robert. Thank you, Coach Mitchell. Grand Valley's got it on cruise control right at the moment, leading 42-0. Both teams back out onto the field right now. Last few words of advice and encouragement from the respective coaching staffs, and we'll come back and get it going here for quarter number 3 here tonight. Grand Valley and Lake Erie College on the Grand Valley Sports Network.
Leave it. You dropped it, not left it, and leave it in your path. And the third step is let it go.
I'm a part of the McNair Scholars, and my research is on the prison industrial complex. I had no idea about prisons, about the business and the organization until I took a liberal studies class at GVSU. And McNair helps students from low-income environments, first-generation college students, obtain their PhD. I ventured here my junior year of high school, and I love the campus. It was authentic, the nature, the sunlight, green grass. Big campus, 25,000 students, but it's a small family feel you get from everyone. Everyone's always nice and greeting. That's what I like about it. Freshman year is when I first had the vision of the Bible study. It's called The Bridge. The Bridge is a Bible study that me and some friends started. And the goal is to not just talk about the Bible, but to talk about how can you improve you with Christian principles. Any advice that I would give to a student coming to Grand Valley, get connected to the faculty and do not be afraid to do new things, to experience new things. My name is Darwin Perry, and I am a philosophy major. I am a future pastor, I'm a mentor, and I am a Laker.
Mic test, 1, 2.
Many of our customers are repeat customers. Once they travel with Cardinal, they come back time and time again.
Our drivers are the best in the industry. We have so many positive comments about our drivers.
Cardinal Bus, 85 years of safe, reliable, worry-free transportation. Call us at 800-348-7487.
All right. Well, we started the evening with one of the largest crowds of all time here at Lever Stadium, 15,668. The hearty souls that have stuck around, well, it's a number somewhat less than that, but there are still some people here, and students down in the end zone are getting free T-shirts and all sorts of other goodies, and there are a lot of fans and families that are still here right now. We see some of the Lake Erie faithful across the way. And I guess when you drive from east of Cleveland, you're not going to turn tail and run at the first sign of trouble. But there's still a lot of football still to go here tonight. Joel Skipper's got it on the, well, I'm not sure if that is Joel Skipper now, is it? No, it is not. We have a new guy trotting out. It's going to be Grand Valley's backup kicker. And that's J.J. McGrath, the sophomore from Macomb, Michigan. Left footer, got it on the tee. Puts a good leg into this one, carries it into the end zone. Andrews is going to bring it out this time. Why not? Take a shot. Boom. That's not the kind of shot I was talking about. I'll tell you what, I don't know how he didn't go down the first time. I thought he went to one knee, but he righted the ship and got it up near the 17. Let's see what Grand Valley starts with here in the second half. It looks to me like it's going to be mostly second-teamers, Bob.
Yeah, Coach Mitchell said at halftime you're going to see a lot of second-teamers, both sides of the ball. Said they're still going to run their stuff offensively. Like you said, Ali Ajami is going to throw the football a little bit. We talked about it earlier that he does such a great job when you bring him in on that short yardage situation with the read option. But he's got to get some experience throwing the ball.
You know, you're not running up the score if you're doing it with your reserves. I don't care what anybody says. And you know, you're here to compete. If you're Lake Erie, you're just going to have to bite the bullet for a couple of periods, make something happen yourself, perhaps. The Storm has it, and they're making something happen on this play, but that was a tackle by a Lake Erie player on another Lake Erie player. The ball carrier was Jordan Morgan. Who was the guy that went down, Bob? I think it was Tyler Hampton.
It was Tyler Hampton, or no, Terrence. Yeah, it was Tyler Hampton. Made the tackle on the outside, and man, what a great run. Opened up the hole in the middle. Linebacker got sucked in a little bit on the outside. You see him get open and ran into his own player trying to get to the outside.
We're going to try to give you some of these names for Grand Valley as we get a chance. Same guy again, running for good yardage, another first down. Shoe top tackle made for Grand Valley by Raju Blackman, one of the linebackers. This is not what Matt Mitchell wanted to see happen. He wants to see guys get after it a little bit and fire off the ball. Don't just stand there and take punches.
Coach Jim Lewis and Nick Poston, the co-defensive coordinator, do not want to see their second team come in and give up this much yardage. Still got a lot of good football players out there on the defensive side of the ball, and they got to really start to produce and really take care of assignments like they do right there.
A little better this time for Grand Valley. Nice stop made at the point of attack. The guy for Grand Valley made that tackle is Gabriel. I want to make sure I'm saying this right. Gilby Rodriguez, 48. The linebacker from Paw Paw, transfer from Eastern Michigan.
Give Cody Moore a lot of credit. He blew up the the right guard on that play, driving him right back into the backfield, allowing nowhere to go for the running back, allowing the linebacker to come up and make that play.
Cody Moore is a pretty good player. He's listed on the 2 deep as the backup tackle, and they're getting after it again, and they just bowl over the quarterback, Banyas, for a loss of about 3 or 4 more. So now it's going to be 3rd and I want to say about 17 here for the Lake Erie Storm.
That's a coverage sack right there. Nowhere to throw the football. Great job on the outside by Deshaun Hurley. Had his man wrapped up. So did Jacob Studdard on the post play. And a good job of putting pressure up there on the defensive line.
Let's see if this guy can get it down the field in a straight drop situation. He's got time to run. Oh, he's got a man open, but he bounced it. And now I think it's going to be illegal. An attempt. The quarterback crossed the line of scrimmage, right, Bob?
Absolutely, yeah. Crossed the line of scrimmage when he threw it, and those are the plays that Coach Mitchell talked about that he was able to make last week against Northern Michigan. Those kind of break plays, throwing back across his body. That time, getting across the line of scrimmage. Grand Valley's defense is going to have to stay disciplined and stay with those receivers all the way through.
Loss it down.
Illegal forward pass. Lake Erie quarterback, across the line of scrimmage, 5-yard penalty, loss of down, 4th down.
You got it.
Yep. So it's going to back them up another 5. So 3 consecutive plays in which they move backward. Grand Valley's got a new man back on the punt return team now, and I think this is, well, what do we see back there, Bob? I think it's going to be John Mark Anderson, the wide receiver who played briefly last week, transfer from Illinois State. They like this guy. It's a tough lineup to crack right now.
Well, you know, you talked about it earlier, and Coach Mitchell talked about they want to see them get a lot more from their special teams and their punt returns specifically. We talked about Matt Williams doing a nice job of securing the ball. This is an opportunity for a young kid right now to make something happen and really try to earn a spot. Matt Williams is a very important part of that offense, and if you can find another kid that can come back on special teams and punt return, Coach Mitchell would love to see this.
Grand Valley's dropping. It's a good kick, and Anderson's going to call for a fair catch right at the 28-yard line. Grand Valley takes over 1st and 10, and we will see Ali Ajami for the first time here tonight. Bart Williams is going to keep the coat on, it looks like, for the remainder of this one. And you can't downplay what this means to your team's long-term health either, Bob.
Well, not only that, I mean, we talked about the run that Grand Valley made in the 2000s, and what they were able to do on a lot of their opponents is get up early like they have today, 42-0, which gave a lot of guys a lot of opportunities. One, that helped down the road if in case of injury, but 2, it helps with your long-term depth, getting these kids reps and getting them ready for the next year when their numbers are ready to be called due to graduation.
Well, some people were surprised last year when Grand Valley lost to Shepherd in the playoffs, and Matt Mitchell pointed out his team played 15 consecutive weeks last year, 6 of their last 7 on the road. And they did a fair amount of traveling as well. And they just got worn down at the end. They lost Kirk Spencer, and that hurt him. And Ajami drops the ball, picks it up, and goes. Ali Ajami, even when he messes up, he does well. That's a pickup of about 3, maybe 4. I thought his knee might have touched when he went down, but he was careful to scoop that ball up and not be down.
A little over anxious right there. I think he kept his. Looked up to the hole, looked up to the read. He's reading the defensive end, see if he collapses, whether or not to give the ball off to that running back, and I think he took his eyes off the football there, just a little bit over anxious.
I think it's Christian Lumpkin who's in the backfield right now, the 3rd tailback for Grand Valley, described by his coach as a home run hitter, a guy who can go a long way in a short period of time. Grand Valley's looking to throw. Ajami's ball is deflected. Nice job done in under coverage there for Lake Erie, and the guy that got back there was Nick Zabatos.
Yeah. Does a nice job of dropping in coverage, keeping his shoulder square to the line of scrimmage, which allows him to move back to his right and make that deflection here.
Good tight ball. Man was open, the receiver out there for Grand Valley. That was Austin Partee, the redshirt freshman from Birmingham.
Well, might as well keep that 89 in the Birmingham family.
Man, I was going to say, did he have that written into his agreement with the university? Grand Valley's going to run it here on 3rd down. Lumpkin almost squirmed out. He's going to be stopped short, and Grand Valley have to kick it away. So an unsuccessful first stint for Grand Valley after the drop on the snap on 1st down and then the incompletion on 2nd.
Something Coach Mitchell's going to and his staff are going to talk to Ali about. I mean, a little nerves on the first drop, maybe the 2nd throw, maybe a little bit behind the receiver, not waiting for him to break open into that zone, throwing to an open zone, and then as you saw right there on 3rd down, not very good blocking up front. So this offense has some work to do, and they're going to continue to work here in the 2nd half.
Dan Madden is back on to handle the punting duty. It's a good snap. He gets it off pretty quickly. It's a nice boot. Andrews is going to return this one from the 28. Grand Valley defends it very nicely, and the Lakers take down Andrews after just a short return. And who was it that got him there, Bob?
Kalen Dunham, defensive back from Canton, does a nice job of breaking down and going after the feet on Tony Edwards right there. And, you know, one of the things that we talked about right here in special teams is such an important role, and it will get more important as the season progresses. And Coach Mitchell talked about it at halftime, really wanting his team to do better on coverage. Really good job there on the punt coverage. I think that Coach Mitchell's most of his frustrations thus far as on the special teams is the team that he saw the most often was that punt return team.
Well, let's see who Grand Valley goes with this time around. We're going to be looking at people like Sonny Haskins and Cody Moore, the interior people. Also, we'll probably see some of Blackman and also Deshaun Hurley. They were both in with the first unit early on and then stuttered we've talked about a little bit. He's been on. He's played a lot. We're going to see Jalen Harden, who Matt Mitchell thought played well last week in his first game for Grand Valley.
This defense just has so much depth that their second teamers are actually getting a lot of first team playing time. So there's a lot of solid guys there, know their positions, know their alignments. Now they just got to step up and make plays.
Lake Erie trailing Grand Valley 42-0 here with just under 11 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Grand Valley scored 6 times in the opening half. They scored in the first 15 seconds and in the last 5 seconds. 2 touchdowns that really broke the spirit, both of them, of this team from Painesville, Ohio. Marty Carter went 79 yards on the first play of the game from scrimmage. Later had a 30-yard touchdown run, caught a touchdown pass, and then Brandon Bean, the last Lakers score, a 5-yard sweep for the wide receiver to help Grand Valley build this lead to where it is right now.
One of the things Grand Valley has done, they did really well late in the playoffs last year and doing well at the beginning of this year, is getting off to fast starts. They've had a history of getting off to some slow starts offensively. And they've done a really nice job getting off those quick starts.
Sorry, Bob. Deshaun Hurley with the tackle there. Jacob Howe from the Grand Rapids area is in at defensive end. He had a hand in that stop. Lakers also have some other big folks up front. We talked about Cody Moore being in there, and I think we have another guy, Bob, that we might have to check on. I'm not sure who that is playing at right tackle right now. We'll check on that one. Deep ball, man open, caught, and this could go for a score. McMahon, last man back. He wrestles the receiver down. It's Mitchell Tilley who took it down inside the 10. That's a very fine throw, and full credit to the Storm for that strike. Banyas' best downfield throw of the night. He had a little bit of time, stepped up. Not bad coverage there, and good work by McMahon not to give up on this play and to make the stop here to prevent the score.
Great job by Banyas throwing it on the outside shoulder, only where his receiver could make it. And Mitchell Tilley does a great job of adjusting to that ball in full stride. Big play.
Do they have enough players out there right now? Banyas going to throw the lob up here. The comeback is going to be caught for a touchdown. Defensive back never turned his head, and Lake Erie is on the board. And the guy that makes the catch is Michael Moses, who had a reception in the first half. Defensive back out there for Grand Valley on that play, I think, was Bryant, and he just never got turned around. And you got to be mindful of that when the guy is running into the end zone from the 10-yard line. You got to find the ball.
These are one of the drills that they run in practice all the time. It looks like that was DeMario Johnson, the redshirt freshman from Hammond, Indiana. Just did not get his head turned around. One of those things down in the red zone, you got to do a great job of feeling the receiver, knowing when his eyes are turning, and you got to do a really good job of finding that football and staying with the receiver. And one of the things that you can do, one of the tools, is use that offhand just to feel where the receiver's at.
Well, the kick from Austin Baker is up and through, so Lake Erie avoids the whitewash. We'll keep it here right now with 9:46 remaining.
You can see
the touchdown pass. 2 good completions there. The second ball a little bit underthrown, but that's not such a bad thing on that particular pattern if the defensive back doesn't get his head turned.
That's exactly it. Got to get that head turned around. And don't want to. Might have been Kalen Dunham as well. I think these jerseys just getting squished up if it was 33 or 35 on the outside. But like we talked about earlier, Coach Postman, Coach Lewis, co-defensive coordinators want to see these guys succeed. They want to put them in good positions, and then they just got to execute right there. Right defensive call, in the right position, just got to execute defensively. Now offensively, Grand Valley, Denali Ajami and his second team offense has got to come out here and start to execute as well.
Caleb Richard is back with Lumpkin. Lumpkin is the guy they want to see in space. Lake Erie may realize that, although Lumpkin is on the same side of the field where the kicker is lined up. Grand Valley maybe a little bit suspicious here of the intentions, but they're going to kick it away, and this will go to Lumpkin at the 5. Can Lumpkin find some space? Now he never really got going. He's knocked down at the 25-yard line, kind of stumbled as he looked in, and really that's a very tough job being a kick return guy because you're going to get tagged more often than not.
It is a tough job, like you said. You got to run full speed. He did a great job of starting, and you just got to make one cut and continue to go. And he tried to make that cut, and just a little bit of a stumble. But I like the way he started out, running full speed, looking for that one cut, trying to find that wall, trying to find that little seam to get through and make the big play.
It's kind of like jousting in a way. The guys that used to have the long things, you run right at each other with those big, long sword type.
Well, they continue to talk about trying to get the kickoffs out of the game. It is probably the most dangerous play in football.
No doubt about it. Ajami's back on now. I think Lumpkin is back in there at the featured back. Grand Valley's got some different receivers on right now, and they're going to let this kid throw, we hope. But he's also going to run the read option as well, and this is a big mistake. Ali Ajami's going to go for about 10 there. I think he just nipped it for the first down. Went out at the 36-yard line. I guess you can't really game plan for the second quarterback too much when you're playing Grand Valley, but we saw that coming a mile away.
Pretty sure that the defensive coordinator for Lake Erie was not really game planning for the read option with Bart Williams back there at quarterback, but you have to prepare for it. He did get some opportunities last week, Ollie did, and took advantage of them, scoring some touchdowns.
He would have showed up on the regular game film because he was in early on in that contest in running situations. Ajami's going to throw now. A little slant, nice pitch and catch there. Another Laker first down, and the reception made by Austin Partee. There he is, number 89.
Nice job there by Ollie. Just does a nice job of making that read, stepping right into the throw. You see Austin Partee right there, good-sized kid, 6 foot, 180-pound redshirt freshman. He's just going to continue to get better with these reps and put on some more size in the weight room in the offseason.
I think it's a good strategy by Matt Mitchell. Just play it like you would play it under normal conditions. Well, that's not going to work out too well. Can Grand Valley get on that ball? They do. Lumpkin got back there, I think. That ball was snapped a little bit before the quarterback was ready.
Now he's looking at his hands like it just kind of slipped right through the hands. I'm not sure he wasn't ready, or he just did not catch that football. He's got to understand the conditions out there. It's a little wet. It was raining through the halftime, a little misty rain, and the ball's going to get wet. They're going to try to do their best job they can to keep the ball dry, but this ball, he sees it right, a little low and right to the outside, but he's a good enough athlete that he's got to make that play.
Big loss for Grand Valley. About 12 yards, 2nd and 22. Lake Erie running up as if to show blitz. Now they're dropping back. Looks like they're going to come off the edge against Ajami here. He's not going to get this one off. Well, maybe he will. He's going to break a tackle. Look out. Breaks to the outside. Ali Ajami is going to go for a first down.
Wow.
Man, oh man. That was amazing.
We talked about Lake Erie and their quarterback, Ganyaz, making something out of nothing and kind of a little bit of side yard football, and that's exactly what that was. Ali, good athlete, able to keep his feet, keep his wits about him, get to the outside and get the first down.
Other games going on tonight. Wayne State still clinging to the lead. Third quarter has just begun down in Ohio against Ashland, 12-6. The Warriors of Paul Winters leading that one. Saginaw Valley Northwood tied 7-7 in the third. This is Lumpkin, not much there, kind of spun forward by the tackler for Lake Erie. And the guy that brought down the Grand Valley ball carrier was Keith Love, the defensive lineman.
You were right earlier, Tom. It was Ferris State 30-28 over Michigan Tech, kicking a field goal with 10 seconds left on the clock to get that win up there in Houghton.
Remember Grand Valley went up there about 10, 12 years ago to play at Tech, and Tech had a running play, about a 70-yard touchdown run on the first play of the game when nobody touched the ball carrier. And then Grand Valley, I think, went on to win 52-6. They missed the extra point, and they didn't do another thing right the rest of the night. Did Grand Valley call a timeout there? I think they may have just gotten the timeout. Matt Mitchell's not happy with the organization, and he's got guys who are not in the right position, and he's going to talk to that unit right now. And he wants Ali Ajami to show a little bit more field generalship, I guess would be the term.
Absolutely. And I mean, and Matt should be upset. This is a second unit that's gotten plenty of playing time, both Ali at quarterback and some of these other guys, and they've got to be accountable. They got to be able to step in. This is a situation when if you have a first stringer go down, you got to be ready to step in, and if you can't do it out here with the group, you're not going to be able to do it with stepping in for the first team. And he's not going to have any trust in you to do it as well.
Well, Matt Mitchell was so hot, he just immediately walked away from the pile. That he wants his coaches to dispense the advice this time around. I think Jack Ginn is one of the guys that's out there.
Tim Morrison and Jack Ginn will try to calm things down a little bit, get these guys a little bit under composure, make sure that they're making the reads, looking to the sidelines, getting the plays called, getting lined up in the proper position, and getting out there and executing.
I wonder, Bob, if it's a question of when you're playing in a game, the play clock is there and it's always going. Do teams maybe take a little extra time in practice, maybe, you know, especially the second unit? There's not the sense of urgency when
they do their Friday walkthroughs and when they do on Thursday, they're using a clock. They have a clock and they use it. They're out here on the field and they're making sure that they're executing, getting their plays in on time. So really not an excuse. Maybe during camp that might be a little bit more rusty, taking more time putting in their plays, but during practice here during the season, they should be aware.
Jami's going to get hit, and he is sacked all the way back at the 45-yard line. Isaiah Wheeler, who's had a pretty good ball game, makes the stop that time for Lake Erie. It's going to be a loss of about back to the 45, so 3rd and 17. And another thing that's happening right now is that Ajami is taking a lot of time. You get those guys down in the three-point stance, and clock is ticking, and they're just not playing with a real sense of purpose at the moment.
Well, you see Ali right here just keying on the left side. He's got to recognize that blitz coming from the outside and either step up or get rid of that ball as quickly as he can, as he does right here, but off target to Lumpkin on the outside.
Yeah, it's not been a good half so far for Grand Valley's second team unit. Now, when Ajami's been in there in the past, he's been in there with some of the first team guys. That's going to make a difference too, but he's got to do a little bit better right now because there are a couple of guys who we could see tonight, Crable and Katopka, who have shown very well in practice, and people think that they're not too far from being ready.
Coach Mitchell had said it earlier this season. He was really happy at the end of camp, the competition for that backup position. All three of those guys did a really, really nice job, and it's a nice problem to have as a head coach when you have a really strong starter in Bart Williams, but also having the competition in the backfield or for the quarterback for the second spot.
5:55 left in the third. 42-7 Grand Valley tonight on Xfinity and the Grand Valley Sports Network.
When it comes to care for you and your family, at Metro Health, we're committed to providing better. Better means a network of primary care physicians throughout the area, ready to see you when you need to be seen, and access to the most advanced electronic medical record system when you don't. Better primary care means we focus on your health, so you can focus on your life. Metro Health. Better all around.
There's a phenomenon at Grand Valley State University that is making a lasting impact on our students, the state of Michigan, and beyond. It's called the Laker effect. Lakers understand that one person can make a significant impact. Together, we know we can do even more. That's the Laker effect.
Our mountains challenge us, push us back, knock us down, tell us it can't be done. But then, one day you reach the summit, and you realize the harder the climb, the better the reward. Whatever your mountain, climb on.
Countryside Greenhouse of Allendale grows and sells more than 100,000 mums a year because of our exceptional quality and fantastic pricing with full-size 8-inch mum pots for just $2. Check us out online. Countryside Greenhouse. You will be amazed.
All inside the 10-yard line for Lake Erie to start this drive against second teamers out there right now for Grand Valley. Grand Valley has not moved the ball well in its two initial drives of the second half. Defensively, it's been a little bit of a mixed bag, and here's Lake Erie trying to move it right up the middle, and there's not much happening there. Grand Valley had a whole host of people that were in the mix. Rodriguez, one of the guys there, and James McBride, the big defensive lineman. Cody Moore is still on. We also have up front for Grand Valley, Ryan Egan. Banyas, 2nd and 10. Looking to throw, drops it over the middle. This is the guy that made the big catch that led to the touchdown. Nice stop for Grand Valley on the reception to Tilley. Grand Valley had a whole host of people there, including Nate Cole, the defensive back from Bloomfield Lasser.
I had an opportunity to talk to a couple of alumni at halftime, and they're really excited about this Grand Valley team. And one of the things that they said that this defense and this team really reminds them of some of those teams in the 2000s is that they'd get up on teams and they wouldn't let them back in. You know, the last few years, we've seen Grand Valley get up on some leads and then big leads and then kind of let the team get back in. They're really seeing that this team is really playing hard, playing well, playing together, and they got the depth to be able to really keep the opponents, not allow them to get back into the game.
That's an interesting play right there. It almost looked to me like Banyas pitched that ball forward. I don't know if there's any discussion of that on the sideline from Grand Valley. There we see Nick Postma and also, you mentioned before, Jim Lewis out there. They're making some noise. They want their guys to do some hitting. Grand Valley's got it gummed up again, but a break out to the outside and beautiful tackle out there on the edge for Grand Valley. The guy that made it for the Lakers was, again, Rodriguez, the linebacker from Paw Paw, the transfer from Eastern Michigan.
Really did a nice job showing some speed there. The defensive end tracking down the running back on the backside, and if he does not get him, he's definitely running for more yards and getting that first down. Great job of pursuit.
Pickup of just a couple of yards, and there's a little option move that time by Banyas that got the first down, and that's got to be a flag coming in there late. No, people just riding off into the sunset there.
Wow.
Quarterback tackled quite a ways out of bounds, and Jacob Studdard was one of the people over there. It is a little bit wet, which is causing some of that.
A little bit of slide, but it looked like Jakari Faulkner right there on that read option just kind of lost his edge, lost his outside shoulder, and allowed Banyas to get outside, and maybe a little bit of frustration jumping out of the pile after Grand Valley, I think, catching a break right there.
3rd and 1 now here for Banyas. Should be a relatively easy conversion, but, well, it turns into a conversion, but it wasn't necessarily easy. That was Morgan, I think, who slid outside. No, actually, not Morgan, but instead, I think that was Antoine Harris, the freshman from Youngstown, 32.
Cody Moore had an opportunity to get him in the backfield, just could not wrap him up. Does a nice job of getting that first down.
Well, he would still like to shut it down here if they can. Banyas with time, throws. That ball was, my goodness, what happened there? Did somebody bat that back into
there was
play?
A couple of guys that batted it, but the first guy that batted it was out of bounds. We got a flag here on the near side, which
I don't know. I think this was thrown in for a hit on the quarterback. Maybe, Bob. It was from the linesman, which he was a mile from the play, and the ball was thrown to the other side of the field. Could it have been a receiver downfield illegally, or an ineligible receiver downfield, I should
Personal
say.
foul.
No?
Shot block. Offense. 73 and 32. 15-yard penalty from the
interesting
previous
call
spot.
here. I don't know if we'll be able to
Play
see it
first
here.
down.
Yep, you do see it on the
Yeah.
outside. The running back steps in while the defensive end is engaged with the left tackle. You're not allowed to go low, and that's exactly what the running back did. As the defensive end was engaged with that left tackle, he went down low in the chop block. You cannot do that. That's a big no-no. They put that rule into effect a few years ago just to protect the defensive
It's a
line
real
with a lot.
dangerous play,
Absolutely.
yeah.
The knee injuries that you
A
can
guy
see
is
from that.
engaged, it means his leg is probably locked, and if you hit him on the knee in that situation, it's going to be a bad deal. Banyas trying to run away from everybody. Got back some, knocked down at the 32-yard line. It'll be 2nd down at about 15 now.
That was an interesting rush by Gabriel Rodriguez on the outside there. He took a hard inside rush. It opened up the whole left side of the field for Banyas to run, and I'm not sure if that was something freelanced or something designed, but got to have coverage on the outside if he's going to do that hard rush on the inside, and usually it will be a linebacker coming from the outside.
They're going to call it more like 2nd and 17 here. 2:40 left in the third quarter. Grand Valley locked this one away by halftime. It was 42-0. All second teamers the entire second half. It's going to be coming back on a hold. Quarterback went down hard, tried to slide in, but the flag is in the backfield in the holding area. And the Lake Erie people can't be too pleased about that. Banyas scrambled away. Interesting situation for Lake Erie. Banyas is a senior, as is the backup. So they're going to have to be looking to groom somebody for the future.
Well, we talked about it earlier in the broadcast.
Offense, number 73. 10 yards from the previous spot. Replay, second down.
Lake Erie's going to need to start grooming some kids to start getting more of that depth. And like you talked about, this is a good opportunity right now to try to work in some of those kids that need some experience or are going to need some down the road. But if you don't have the players on the bench, you got to stick with what you got.
Second and 27, 2:22 left in the period. Banyas got pressure up the middle, and Grand Valley comes up with the sack. And a little bit of exuberance there. And who is it? Cody Moore again, 97 in black, up off the bottom of the pile. They're just about every defensive lineman who's been in there tonight has had a tackle for a loss.
They're doing a great job of getting pressure. And basically with just a 4-man rush, they really haven't done much as far as blitzing or stunting. Just a basic 4-man rush in the Grand Valley 4 front, beating Lake Erie's 5 front.
I'm going to keep an eye on 14 in black this time, Jalen Harden. He's playing deep safety right now. I don't know if Lake Erie's going to take a chance and try to throw it all the way down the field. Now they're just going to run it. They're going to get some yardage back, but not a lot, up to the 29-yard line. Grand Valley gets a tackle there from Grant Postma, one of the guys in on the stop, along with the guy that we saw a little bit last week, Isaiah Incanza, the linebacker from Mason, Ohio, redshirt freshman. Kicking team is on, the punt team that is. And they're going to go back to Michael Music here. And again, it's going to be Grand Valley's John Mark Anderson back in single safety, back at around the 35-yard line with just over a minute remaining here in the third quarter. Pretty good kick. Anderson's going to take this one on the fly, going to move up a few yards, held on to it, nearly gained the 40, and Grand Valley has it from there. We'll take it to a timeout right now. 53 seconds left in the third. Grand Valley 42, Lake Erie College 7.
For students interested in a health profession, there isn't a better university in Michigan than Grand Valley. There's a lot of opportunity to get involved, and with the Medical Mile in Grand Rapids and the medically centric faculty at Grand Valley, it's a great environment to learn in. One of my most memorable experiences was in the crayfish research lab, going out and catching the actual crayfish ourselves and then caring for them and putting them in the aquariums and performing studies is really fascinating. It really fuels my curiosity, especially for biomedical research. I'm the president of the Pre-Med Club, and our mission is to provide the best insight into the medical field. We have club meetings every other week, and we meet to collaborate and to host events and to travel to medical schools and really help our members succeed. Growing up, I was involved in Scouts. I was changed by the power of being able to save somebody's life. Once a week, I volunteer with the Allendale Boy Scout Troop, and I help teach merit badges, and I advise young men into becoming Eagle Scouts. One of the phrases that's really resonated for me was being a Laker for a lifetime. Even as a doctor, I want to be a Laker. I think that what a Laker really means to me is being somebody in the community that has integrity, that always has a desire to learn. My name is Justin Terahomey, and I'm a pre-med student. I am a scientist, I am a leader, I am an Eagle Scout, and I am a Laker.
Another opportunity for Ali Ajami, who's had a couple of good moments tonight, Bob, on the ground. He's had one completion, but Grand Valley has not really been in sync here with his second unit.
Very inconsistent. We heard it in the booth on the break. Quarterbacks coach Matt Bitzum really unhappy with his quarterback not taking control of this offense. And here we go. Here's that speed you talked about.
Yeah, it's Lumpkin. The line of scrimmage was the 40, and the little extracurricular activities involved, and it's getting kind of ugly down there right now, but it's a great run for Lumpkin. He picks up a total of 32 yards on that first down carry, his best collegiate effort so far.
Now we saw Brian Moran, the big tight end, locking up with Drew Bell, mixing it up at the 50-yard line, and Drew Bell pushing after the play. If you're at the 50-yard line and the ball is pushed up to the 30, you're not in the right spot, my friend.
No. It'll be important for both these teams to kind of keep their cool. This one's been out of hand for a while. Ajami dropping straight back, has time, throwing it long. Jump ball situation. Zach Smith tied up with the defensive back Andrews. That ball just did not have enough juice on it, and Smith really couldn't get the separation he needed.
Now, Tony Andrews is a good defensive back. He had 6 interceptions in last year's campaign and 9 in 2014. So he's a guy that's got a good mark for the ball. His struggles have just been trying to lock up the wide receiver when they're trying to chuck at the line of scrimmage. Right there, the freshman, 87, big kid.
Yeah,
Toledo,
Zach Smith.
Ohio.
Jalen Bryant's in there right now. He's the slot receiver to this side. 2nd down and 10 for the Lakers. Possibly the last play, and now Grand Valley moved. Yeah, that's going to cost them 5, I do believe here. Somebody up front rocked out of their stance. John Gauthier is in there right now. He is the guy that they called that penalty on, redshirt freshman from Sandwich, Illinois, from Marmion Academy down that way. 4-year-old Coach Tom Beck would be happy. All these Illinois guys
No
come
kid.
up and play in Michigan.
Him and Coach Quinn, Jeff Quinn now at Notre Dame, both some Illinois guys really recruited hard in Illinois back in the 80s.
Well, that was a pretty interesting little wrinkle by Ali Ajami. I'm surprised Grand Valley didn't get anybody illegally downfield. And a little scuffle again, and they're going after Brian Moran, and that time he pushed back.
He is having his way with the defensive ends over there on the left side and doing a nice job of blocking. Talked about Ali Ajami, his throw that we saw earlier, just a little bit late getting out, and then not as strong as you might wanted to see the arm coming out. So he might have to make up for that and try to get out a little bit earlier.
That was it for the third quarter. Still 15 to go, though. Grand Valley leading tonight against Lake Erie, 42-7 on Xfinity and the Grand Valley Sports Network.
I'm passionate about teaching. It's just something that I've wanted to do ever since I was a little girl. I also have a passion for traveling. I also like to help out in the community and do as much community service as I can. There's a group of about 30 of us that are pre-service teachers, and we all came to Tanzania to teach in all the classrooms here. Every day we go to the classroom and we teach, and then we come home and we talk about what we did and we lesson plan, and we also do fun things on the weekends too. Like we climbed Mount Kilimanjaro and we went on a safari, which was awesome. Their classrooms are very bare compared to the United States, and their resources are limited, but it's been a very good experience, and I've learned to definitely think on the spot. And it's not until you go to somewhere like Tanzania or another country that you realize that everyone around the world is not the same, and they don't have the same rules, they don't have the same culture. So I think as a Laker, it's our job to experience what we can that's out of our comfort zone and get a feel for what other people are doing and have a respect for them as well. So I think a lot of us, this will help us in our teacher assisting and in our student teaching and in our teaching jobs as well. But the kids are just so happy to see us. Every time we go, they light up. It's the best feeling in the world. It's really cool. My name is Kristen, and I am a math education major. I am a traveler, I am a teacher, and I am a Laker.
Well, can Grand Valley here convert in this situation? 3rd down now and 9 for Ajami and the Lakers. Jailbreak is on. Grand Valley's got the right play called, and they will pick up the 1st down. It's a real nice pitch and catch for the Lakers. And the receiver, how about that? Ryan West, the guy who was the backup quarterback last year, playing in his final season of college football at wideout. Nice little grab and a nice moment for him to get a chance to put his athletic ability on display.
Absolutely, the definition of a program guy that just stuck with it, did whatever the coaches asked, backed up the quarterback last year. This year sees Bart Williams having much success, and then Grand Valley bringing in a lot of young talent at the quarterback position. And coach, where can I go? Where can I play to be successful, help the team out? And really nice to see Ryan get a chance there.
It's a big Grand Valley family. Ryan West, his brother Zach, on the basketball team for the Lakers, had a fine freshman season. Let's see if he might figure in the scoring here tonight. They're going to let Ajami run it on the read option. Ryan West is down there trying to throw a block, and they chased Ali out of bounds inside the 10. Nice pickup for the Lakers here, and more what Grand Valley was hoping for from this second unit.
Yeah, good execution right there. As much as you got caught last week with the Houdini tricks, I got caught right there. Thought that
Lumpkin
was walking into the end zone right there, and a nice job by Ali pulling that one out.
West is a wide out again. Bryant is in the slot, and Smith, the big freshman. Grand Valley's going to this time give it to Lumpkin. Lumpkin did a nice spin to get away from one tackler. Well, those last two plays ended up exactly the opposite of what they should have been. Lumpkin would have scored on the previous play, and this time they give it to him, and he had really no opening at all. And now a player is down for Lake Erie. That's going to be Alex Heldreth, I think, the lineman, who's down on the grass right now.
Yeah, we talked about Ollie doing such a great job with that read option, making the right reads in the last couple of weeks and scoring some touchdowns. And this week, maybe not making the right reads, whether it's confusion on what Lake Erie's doing defensively, not really giving them a true look of what they've seen in film. And that's something Coach Mitchell had talked about. They're kind of all over the place defensively, and you got to take some time to try to understand what they're doing. They don't really have a core base defense. They kind of mix it up every single week. And that's what you have to do when you don't have the players, the talent. You have to try to do something schematically to try to offset the lack of the talent.
I'm looking down at the field right now for Grand Valley as Heldreth is being attended to. They haven't moved him yet. He's moved his legs a little bit. He is conscious, certainly. I know that. And they're going to take their time in case of any possible, well, I think more the neck and spinal type injuries, what the big concern is. We see these situations quite often in football where they want to take their time, and now Heldreth is starting to roll over on his own and got his knees up in the air anyway. That's a good sign. Hopefully he'll be able to leave the field under his own power and might be done for the evening, but we want to make sure that the young man is able to get up on his own. He's getting some attention right now from the staff down on the field. There you see the Lake Erie sideline. Wanted to mention a couple of moments ago, Bob, the way people learn to communicate. Grand Valley's got their coaches in the booth next to us. They're sending down the plays. And I saw Matt Williams and Bart Williams looking like they were flashing signals up to the booth to get a particular play called.
Oh, yeah.
Suggesting that maybe they know what would be working right now. I don't really know the Grand Valley signals at all in terms of what is what, but they both had some signals going back and forth, and I wonder if there you see Matt in the middle with the headband on, and the blue bandana is Bart Williams. A couple other guys out there, Garrett Pugnier and a few other players. The big linebacker, Joe Moran, out there. They're still attending to Heldreth. We'll take a timeout right now and come back with more tonight from Allendale.
Countryside Greenhouse of Allendale is having a huge ceramic pottery liquidation sale. Now through the end of October, take an additional 50% off the sale price. Hurry in for the best selection and tremendous savings. Countryside Greenhouse, you will be amazed.
We are the Coors Brewing Company, and our mountain is brewing the world's most refreshing beer. A beer proud enough to wear our name in big, red, scripted letters. That's why we lager, filter, and package cold. Because we believe every climb deserves a refreshing finish. Whatever your mountain, climb on.
There's a phenomenon at Grand Valley State University that is making a lasting impact on our students, the state of Michigan, and beyond. It's called the Laker effect. Lakers understand that one person can make a significant impact. Together, we know we can do even more. That's the Laker effect.
When it comes to care for you and your family, at Metro Health, we're committed to providing better. Better means a network of primary care physicians throughout the area, ready to see you when you need to be seen, and access to the most advanced electronic medical record system when you don't. Better primary care means we focus on your health, so you can focus on your life. Metro Health. Better all around.
Well, they've got the card out right now to attend to Alec Heldreth, the sophomore from Canfield, Ohio, who is the injured player. He went face down during the play. After getting some attention, he rolled himself over. So we're hopeful that that's a sign, Bob, of not a spinal cord injury or anything like that. It could be that there's a variety of injuries that are not uncommon. Getting a stinger, which would cause numbness, which would be kind of a tip-off here for the medical staff to get the card out here and remove him from the field with great care. Certainly the concussion possibility exists on a play like that. Defensive lineman got caught up in the mix, not really involved in the play itself, the outcome of the play, but getting a lot of attention down there right now. Both teams taking their time. They're going to get him on the board, and Grand Valley has plenty of medical staff here. They've got an ambulance standing by for transport to a hospital if that is required. And we can see Alec down there moving his legs around a little bit. So I think he is certainly conscious, and demonstrated that when he rolled over. But it's better to be safe than sorry with any kind of a neck or spinal injury or even a question of one.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to speculate up here, being as far away as we are and not having any information. But the card out there, obviously not a good sign. But like you said, they're going to take every precaution, take their time, and make sure that he gets the exact medical attention he needs to get well again.
I can't tell. I think they've left his helmet on, which is the normal protocol for football injuries these days. If you did have any kind of a head or neck injury, you wouldn't want to jar anybody in any way. So they'll get him cushioned in there and transported, I would think, to a local hospital for some further attention. There's plenty of staff down there. The coaches from both sides have gone down onto the field, and we're hoping that what we're seeing right now is just precautionary action for the player who was rolled over after the hit, and we're hoping it's nothing more than that, and just the staff here at Grand Valley taking great care of what could be a serious injury, but we're hoping is not that. Now more and more players from Lake Erie trotting out onto the field to assist their teammate. They're going to get him up very slowly. This is the kind of operation that moves at its own clip.
Tough to see. This is such a great game, a game that I played and loved for so many years, and had my son play, actually not playing this year. And it's one of those things as a parent, you look down and this is just something that you don't want to see as the rest of the Lake Erie team comes out to give support to their teammate. But again, it's a physical game, part of the game, and we, concussions have been talked about as part of the game for quite some time. But we really, really hope that things work out, and the medical staff is doing everything they can to help.
Well, the random nature of injury in football is something. You'll see running backs get hit hard. You'll see guys into a pile with 5 or 6 guys bounce right back up. And I can recall the play, Bob, a couple of years ago where Grand Valley had a player seriously injured on a play at the end of the first half. It was Bobby Wunderlich on a play when Grand Valley was just trying to prevent a long touchdown pass, and he had a very severe leg injury, which just turned out to be terrible, a completely fluke action. Anyway, we're going to take one more time out right now and hopefully return with the remainder of tonight's football action here from Grand Valley. The Lakers on top against the Lake Erie Storm, 42-7.
We kind of create our own title, and so I am the Chief Juice Innovator, CJI, as opposed to the CFO or CEO. So I've been benefited from the liberal education at Grand Valley by simply being exposed to so many different classes, which meant I was exposed to so many different majors. You kind of get to pick and choose these different classes that you might have an interest in the future. And so for me, one of those classes happened to be part of business. My wife and I actually came up with the concept together after watching a documentary and being inspired. But the question came as, how do you start a business? Where do you go? And so I actually went to Grand Valley Small Business Development Center. With that program, I was able to actually write the business plan that got us the funding for this location. The other thing that we do that we're very proud of is our youth employment program. We want the Juice Bar to be, for youth, a place where they can start, a place where we can help them grow. Currently, I am on the alumni board at Grand Valley. I do what I can to go out there to talk with students. I speak at some of the alumni events. And so anytime there's a Grand Valley event that I'm able to get to, I reach out and try to be a part of that in whatever capacity I can. I'm an entrepreneur, I'm an active community resident, and I am a Laker.
When it comes to care for you and your family, at Metro Health, we're committed to providing better. Better means a network of primary care physicians throughout the area, ready to see you when you need to be seen, and access to the most advanced electronic medical record system when you don't. Better primary care means we focus on your health, so you can focus on your life. Metro Health. Better all around.
Still medical attention being given to the injured Lake Erie player, Alec Heldreth. They're got him up on the cart right now, but they're proceeding very, very slowly before they get him off the field. And there's a lot of folks down there, so we're here. We're trying to tell you what's going on, but quite frankly, we probably don't know any more than the folks that are in the stands right now. But it's really put a damper on this contest because we've been delayed now for at least probably 10 to 15 minutes for this. And you just want to make sure that the player is getting every bit of help that he can get. And I'm not sure if somebody just took his helmet there, Bob. I saw one of the players step in and it looked like he was taking something, but I'd be surprised if his hat was actually off at this point. And the entire Lake Erie team is down there on the field right now. Light rain has begun falling again, and we are stuck at 13 minutes and 40 seconds left to go. And now, did they get him up? Okay, well, that's certainly a great sign. They got a brace or some kind of device on his neck, and there you see him moving his hands and his arms. Hopefully, it's not too bad, so that's good news for everybody, but especially the young man's family if they're watching our web broadcast tonight or our telecast. There you see Alec. He's got a brace around, but we saw him get up pretty much under his own power. And this would appear to be, at least it looks right now, more precautionary than any real emergency medical attention that he's getting.
Really nice to see him standing up on his own volition to sit down onto the stretcher. You don't see that very often when they're bringing out these kind of precautions. Usually they bring out the straight flat board and really don't allow any movement. But yeah, it just reminds me of a story that I told. I had my son playing football and coached him in 7th and 8th grade and 7th grade. And when he was younger and get a hit, I'd be jumping all over the sidelines as his coach and getting excited. And a couple of years later, he has the same hit on the sidelines, and I'm just looking at him, get up, get up. And the whole mindset has changed with this sport, with the talk of concussions and so forth. But really good to see him standing up on his own volition and getting onto that cart.
Well, they're going to get him onto the motorized golf car there with Life EMS down there to take care of him. Very careful, fellas. We got it all going good to this point. Boy, a big football player in that reclining position doesn't have a lot of headroom there, so you got to make sure that he's locked in and get him off. But it's not going to be a pleasant night for Alec, but it's looking better. We see his feet moving a little bit. The players from Lake Erie go back to the sideline, and after about a 15 or 20 minute delay, which is what we're going to end up having here, Grand Valley's going to have the ball down inside the 10-yard line at the 7. It'll be 3rd down for Grand Valley, which can make a 1st down here. 42-7 is our score. The only touchdown of the second half came on a Banyas to Michael Moses touchdown toss against the second team unit. I don't really know that there's been a first teamer in there for Grand Valley on either side of the football since this half began.
You got a mix of some of the offensive linemen getting in there. Derek Sparkman's in there at the O-line. He's had some reps with the first team. Some of these guys, but for the most part, like he said, the second group getting some action.
Well, nice hand for the injured player, Alec Heldreth, I should say. And they're going to get him some more sophisticated attention, I'm sure, away from the stadium and away from the campus here tonight. All right, well, we are about to resume here. Grand Valley with its second offensive unit out. Ali Ajami continues at quarterback. It'd be interesting to see whether or not Matt Mitchell goes beyond Ajami tonight. I'm kind of suspecting that this is going to be it. Lumpkin is the running back. Let's see if they try to get him outside against those defensive backs. Ajami's going to throw. Boy, he had a man wide open. It was just a poor throw by Ajami. Should have been a touchdown. Joe Robbins out there?
Yeah, Joe Robbins did a nice little dig route, kind of went to the outside, punted it outside, came back as a little curl inside, called a little bit of a dig route. Some called a choice route, but was wide open, and I don't think Ollie was very patient on that throw. Got rid of it a little early, dumped it a little bit too low, and he was a little bit more patient on that throw, would have had a touchdown.
Well, this is a new look here. It's going to be Nick Dotson holding for J.J. McGrath. This would normally be a skipper situation. First college field goal try for this man. Snap is high, kick is up, and I don't think he made it. Somebody jumped.
It might be encroachment as well on the defense, and that's the case. It's going to be a first down and goal situation.
Well, I think this is coming against Grand Valley. I'm going to guess here. Well, Grand Valley says Mr. Bob Mitchell is right. It's the offside call.
Offside.
Oh,
defense.
boy.
Number one.
Lake Erie, that's the
results in automatic first down.
The ultimate slap in the face there. All you had to do is just line up, and now Grand Valley's got a chance to go for 7. It's going to be first and goal at the 3-yard line, or just inside the 4.
Get some anxious kids in there that want to make a play here, whether it's for their fallen teammate or whether it's just trying to make a play down 42-7 and get a little bit over anxious and create a situation. You got to, again, know what your situation is. If it's a 4th down and less than 5 yards, you cannot jump off sides. If it's a 4th down and 4 to go, you can make that play.
That's Lumpkin. He's going to get back to the line of scrimmage and not much more. And again, that's a situation where if Ollie hangs on to it there, he would have just crawled into the end zone with nobody around him. But he gave it off to Lumpkin. Second down now for the Lakers. Clock running inside of 13 minutes here in the 4th quarter. Alec Heldreth, the defensive lineman for Lake Erie, was injured a few moments ago and then was finally transported from the field after about a 15-minute delay. Grand Valley is back knocking on the door, trying for its first second half touchdown. Lumpkin again back there with Ajami. Lumpkin not quite going to get there. He got down to about the 2.
Give Lake Erie's defense credit. They've had 6 or 7 shots at this with that read option, and they've done a really good job of staying home, making the right reads, and attacking Grand Valley's offense, keeping them out of the end zone, and now forcing a 3rd down and goal situation from just outside the 2-yard line.
I'm not sure what Grand Valley's going to do here, but I'm thinking Matt Mitchell is saying we either push him back into the end zone, score on the run, or we're not going to score. I don't think he would throw the ball in this situation. I could be wrong. Threw a little while ago to Joe Robbins. Ollie's going to keep it himself. He's going to walk in. That was a great fake. Lumpkin paid the price, took a big hit. Ali Ajami with his 3rd touchdown of the year. First of the night, and Grand Valley now with a chance to tack on another that would restore the lead to 42.
I think Ali was a little bit more patient there on that read right there. Took his time with the read, really rode it long enough to see that the linebacker was going to bite on that fake to the running back as he got hit, pulled it out at the right time and walked into the end zone. Great job by Ali, good patience on that read option.
So Dotson will put it down again. And this time the kick is up and it is through. So the backup PAT crew, J.J. McGrath, scores his first college point. There you see Ajami walking in on that touchdown run. That makes it 49-7. Well, we do know this. Grand Valley could use a little bit of work on its passing game with that second unit. And they really do have to find out whether or not Ali Ajami could carry the load if need be, because Grand Valley is very much a pass-oriented team, at least 50%.
Absolutely. This is a full-out dress rehearsal for Ali Ajami, and I'm sure that after this next series, when Grand Valley gets the ball back, they might take a look at another quarterback, whether it be Crable or another opportunity for guys to step up and make plays. And you said it, I mean, it's a long season, like we said last year, 15 games, 15 consecutive weeks. And Bart Williams is a strong, big kid, but you know, he can take some lumps as well, and you never know when you're going to need to call on that second string quarterback, and you want to have the confidence that you're going to be able to throw the second teamer out there and him be able to run your full package.
Yeah, Grand Valley does not want to concede the talents of Williams and Thurston Smith and Brandon Bean just to run the football all the time. Here's McGrath, puts a good leg into this one. This will carry down to about the 6-yard line. Grand Valley's got some gunners down there, and I think that was more of a stumble than anything else. At first, I thought it might be a little bit of a leg whip, but the Grand Valley player that was in the area there was Parker McInnes, and I don't think he quite got to where the return man was.
And he was cutting back, and Nate Cole was right there waiting for him, so if he was able to keep his feet, I think there would have been a collision of monumental proportions, so maybe a good thing that the tire blew out and went down there right outside the 16-yard line.
I think we're going to see a change now with Tyler Eden coming out to play quarterback for Lake Erie College here. So Mark McNelly has basically decided that the outcome is etched in stone right now. It's just going to be up to the second teamers to determine the final count. Nice run here by the quarterback. He's going to pick up good yardage, not quite a first down after a gain of maybe 8. Tyler Eden taking over here.
Did a nice job right there with that read option, faking out quite a bit of the Grand Valley defenders. Doing a nice job of getting some positive yards.
Young man from Mentor, Ohio. Little ball out in the flat here. Grand Valley plays it pretty well. Nice work stepping up for Grand Valley. And that was Michael Pettis, the linebacker from Battle Creek Central, 44 in black, who made the stop there. Redshirt freshman. It's always the most interesting class, the redshirt freshmen, because if they're in there as redshirts, you know, they're thought of as players. They're guys are getting a chance, a lot of them for the first time. Nice little twist and turn there. Grand Valley in hot pursuit, and the ball carrier goes down the sideline. He finally stepped out of bounds. It was a battle of 29s right there. Jordan Morgan going against Grand Valley's 29, Kyle Short. And Short did just enough to steer him out of bounds. It's a pickup, though, to the 39-yard line. It will be a first down for Lake Erie.
Nice job, Jordan Morgan, using those feet to get to the first down marker. Nice run by him. And you mentioned that redshirt freshman. I had to explain this to my son the other day who asked the question, what's the redshirt freshman? Basically, it's a kid that doesn't play his first year as a true freshman, and then his next year is considered as a sophomore year. A redshirt freshman has 4 years of eligibility.
Read option here, and Grand Valley's got it played well. Nice stop on the outside for the Lakers. Nate Cole came up. Nice moment for Nate Cole. He's been a squad guy, defensive back, a senior. Really getting a chance to see some action here, and he made a very fine play there to bring down the ball carrier. And that was Javarian Smith who carried it that time for Lake Erie.
Yeah, Nate Cole does a great job on special teams for Grand Valley. Does a nice job right there, staying home and really doing a good job squaring up and making that tackle in space.
Grand Valley's going after the quarterback. He's going to have time. Well, then he throws it away eventually. Thought about going down the field, then thought better of it and just looked for a white spot there in front of Matt Mitchell and company and threw it away. Discretion being the better part of valor.
Tyler Eden doing a nice job of using his feet to extend that play. Wide receiver is very well covered, and instead of just throwing it up, does a nice job of just getting rid of it. Living to play another down here, 3rd down and long for Lake Erie.
Jakari Faulkner back into the contest for the Lakers defensively, 52 in black. Grand Valley moving some folks around. Nick Postma, I don't think he has them quite lined up the way he wants them lined up. This is a ball that's thrown over the top, and you can tell it's getting a little bit ragged right now from both sides. Again, they go back to Javarian Smith, the freshman from Pontiac. Michiganian on the squad, and that's going to bring up a 4th down and kicking situation here.
Lake Erie just trying to do a 2-man combo route on the outside. Outside receiver just doing a quick 2-yard hitch, sending the inside receiver on a flag route to the 1st down marker, and Eden just overthrew his receiver. Just couldn't put it right on the spot.
So Grand Valley has John Mark Anderson back in single safety. Well, no, is that Lumpkin maybe has gone back there this time, I think. We didn't get a good view of him. No, I think it is Anderson.
Yeah.
Well, that's a great kick. Anderson's going to watch it bounce over his head. He's going to take it over his shoulder and got to find an exit here, and there's not one available. Knocked down at the 16-yard line. 1st and 10 for Grand Valley with 9:23 remaining. We're looking down on the field, and I'm looking for number 18. I think he's right down there in the middle of the mix, but maybe not.
Scuttle huddle down there. We have no idea who's going to break out of that huddle and play at the quarterback
Well,
position.
it's going to be a Jami because I see Katopka and Crable still have the headsets on. Should point out those guys are both freshmen too, and it really doesn't do you any good to not play them if you have an opportunity because they sat out last season. Ajami is back in. Grand Valley's going to hand it off and look out. Here we go. Nice run on 1st down. Pickup of about 19 yards for Grand Valley. And that was Bryce Young Walls, the redshirt freshman from Ann Arbor's Pioneer High School. That's the place right across the street from the big house.
Yeah.
Pioneer.
Carrying that number 27 number, looking like he's got a little bit of cramping, but reminiscent of Kirk Spencer from last year, and he's going to come out with looks like a little bit of cramping in that right calf.
Grand Valley's going to get Caleb Richard into the game. Young guy from the Midland area, Dow High School player. Play clock ticking down quickly for Grand Valley. Johnny's going to have to hurry to get this one off. He's looking to throw the ball here. Going to lob it up over the top, wide open, and making the catch for the Lakers. That's Austin Partee. It's a nice ball, maybe a touch tardy, not exactly the kind of line drive we'd see in there from Bart Williams, but a good throw and a very nice catch by the young man.
It was a good read. Austin Partee does a nice job of getting separation and catching himself between the corner and the safety, and Holly does a nice job of getting it out to the sidelines just where his guy can catch it. Safety over the top. Could not quite get there. Looks like Marcellus Mitchell just a little bit late to getting to the outside for Lake Erie.
Young guy did a nice job, Bob, of catching that ball with his hands.
Yeah,
Didn't
absolutely.
show any sign of panic at all when it was coming down out of the lights. Just took it like he was falling off a log. Grand Valley's going to run it inside here. Not bad for Richard, who gets about 3 on the play, down to the 30-yard line with 8 minutes exactly left now in this contest. Both teams have scored in the second half. One time, Grand Valley had 6 touchdowns, though, in the first half. It's 49-7 Lakers with a game coming up next week here again on Saturday, Bob.
Yeah, Northern Michigan coming into Lubber Stadium. Northern Michigan playing Lake Erie last weekend in an overtime victory, as we mentioned before, and see if Grand Valley can put up another big number as far as attendance. They've done a great job in these first 2 games, and Grand Valley continuing to roll offensively and defensively, as you see Ajami running that read option.
Boy, that was the perfect decision by Ali.
Yeah.
He lowered the boom on the defender that came up to stick him. The guy that took the brunt of that blow was the defensive back, the sophomore Jack Gorman. Ajami made a beautiful call on the read option right here, and boom. That was
Nice job
Not
of Jami lowering his pad level, so he's not taking any blows to the knees, and does a really nice job again being patient on that read option, allowing the defender to commit to the running back and pulling it out right at the last second and getting great yardage for Grand Valley. It's a tough play for the quarterback and the running back. They got to have really good communication on that. Running back's got to have a soft feel for that ball over on his hands and allow the quarterback to pull it out at the last second.
That was not good. A little hit at the end of that play. The Grand Valley player, Richard, went down, and then he got hit on the ground. And I'm not sure the defender, if he was disqualified or if he's just coming out of the game. There we see him right there. It's Eric Owens, the senior from Chicago.
Half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
This is going to put Grand Valley inside the 10 now, down to the 8-yard line with 6:38 remaining.
A little frustration shown there, Lake Erie in defense. I think he was just pulled by his coach, no ejection.
Grand Valley kind of dawdling a little bit here on getting the play in. They're going to have to hurry. Let's see if Ajami got a good look at the play clock. He's going to get this one off. He's going to carry it himself, and he's going to walk in for his 4th touchdown of the year, his 2nd touchdown of the night. The Lakers increase the 50-point mark. It's 55-7 as Ajami got to be the leading backup quarterback scorer in Division II at the moment with 4 touchdowns this season. It's 55-7.
Again, a nice job on that read, holding it in there just long enough, pulling it out at the last minute. And good blocking up front as well. Got to give the offensive line, a second group, a lot of kudos. Getting a hat on a hat, creating that running lane for Ajami to run to the outside.
This is McGrath out of the hold of Dotson. Boy, hit the upright. Hit the upright. So there's a miss for Grand Valley. I thought Dotson did a pretty good job, and quite frankly, I'm not sure how that kick ever got through. It looked like the dam had burst, but it's off the upright, and the count stays 55 for the Lakers here.
Didn't look like a clean blocking up front either. Not sure if somebody got snuck through and got a hand on that as well. But again, just one of the things that Coach Mitchell preaches about. He wants execution through and through, whether it be first, second, third string, whether it be offense, defense, or special teams. And these are some things that he's going to be upset about after the game, as well as Grand Valley has played tonight, especially that first group in that first half. This is something that Coach Mitchell and his staff will be really preaching on, and it's nice to have something to build on for the next week as well. So, coaches are always trying to find some motivation, something to work on, no matter what the score is. And Grand Valley and their coaching staff is going to have something to work on next week when Northern Michigan comes to Grand Valley.
So McGrath has it on the tee at the 35-yard line. The rain beginning to fall again, and there are some students down in the south end zone, about 50 or 60 of them, whose enthusiasm, Bob, has not waned here tonight. Good special teams play again by the Lakers, making the hit down inside the 20-yard line. Grand Valley getting some people around the ball, and Nate Cole was there again. Zach Smith, we talked about him, the wide receiver, and also coming over to help out Caleb Richard, the guy that carried the ball a couple of times in that last series for Grand Valley.
See a light rain coming down in Lubber Stadium, picking up more to a heavier rain here.
This could either be a monsoon or it could be a display of our great new cameras that we are using this season. It is not that bothersome a rain right now, but fairly steady for the last 6 minutes of this contest.
One of the things I talked to Coach Mitchell about yesterday out at practice was the fact that the team has been very, very healthy. Really, really healthy camp. Looking through week one, another healthy situation, and you'd look at coming through week two, no noticeable injuries that we have noticed anyway up here in the booth for your first and second squads. So got to be really, really happy coming through camp in the first 2 weeks of the season as healthy as Grand Valley has.
Well, we heard a large groan from everybody on this side. They saw that hold that occurred on the run when Eden tried to duck in and then duck back outside again, and
Jacob Howe had a great read on that, was about to make a play, and his jersey just got absolutely held and pulled. And you'll get a good look at it here. Watch number 43 right there.
Yeah, that's not going to get it.
That is not legal. So puts a 1st and 20 situation and puts Lake Erie way back near their end zone.
And they're going to hand it off again. This is the guy that we saw a short time ago carrying the ball for Lake Erie College. It's Antoine Harris, the freshman from Youngstown. 5.5 to go here. 3rd and 1,000,000.
We talked about how well this defense is playing. One of the things I've noticed this year is how many black helmets we've seen at the ball, at the carrier. They're swarming 9, 10 guys too. Every time you see a guy carrying that ball, and they're running to the football so well, and the second unit is doing the exact same thing.
Let me correct myself, Bob. 2nd and 19. Because of the penalty. Man in motion. Quarterback looking to go. Grand Valley's got some pressure on him. Ball dumped out in the flat, and look at this schoolyard play. And look at this tackle that Grand Valley's going to get back at the 5-yard line.
Cody Moore once again.
Cody Moore is having a fine half.
Yes, he is. Great job of sticking with it and shows some great athleticism, knifing through a couple of blocks and grabbing the feet, waiting for his teammates to come and clean it up.
One thing that's not encouraging for Grand Valley there, I saw Grant Postma come off. Looked like he's holding his left shoulder a little bit gingerly. Cody Moore's got that one boot, and then friends are arriving on the scene.
Yeah.
Now, let's see if Grand Valley's got some people that move to the ball here. Seems like a passing situation for Eden. Nope, they're going to run the ball again with the quarterback. He'll get a little bit of yardage back, but not much. And Grand Valley closes pretty quickly, and it was Isaiah Nkansa, 39 in black, that made the stop on Tyler Eden. It'll be a kicking situation, and that means we'll get another opportunity to see John Mark Anderson back to field this kick.
He's getting some good experience right now. You know, we talk about Matt Williams, the sure-handed punt returner, but again, on a long season, we've talked about it again. These are great opportunities for these kids to get experience, because you never know when you're going to have to step up and take these kick returns. And I really think this kid's got some explosiveness. Love to see him in the open field.
He's going to get a chance to return this one. Well, he waved for the fair catch. Oh, boy. Watch out. He was able to retrieve it on the basketball bounce back at the 34-yard line. A timeout right now, 3.5 to go. Grand Valley putting the finishing touches on this victory tonight.
Many of our customers are repeat customers. Once they travel with Cardinal, they come back time and time again.
Our drivers are the best in the industry. We have so many positive comments about our drivers.
Cardinal Bus, 85 years of safe, reliable, worry-free transportation. Call us at 800-348-7487.
Our mountains challenge us, push us back, knock us down, tell us it can't be done. But then, one day you reach the summit, and you realize the harder the climb, the better the reward. Whatever your mountain, climb on.
When it comes to care for you and your family, at Metro Health, we're committed to providing better. Better means a network of primary care physicians throughout the area, ready to see you when you need to be seen, and access to the most advanced electronic medical record system when you don't. Better primary care means we focus on your health, so you can focus on your life. Metro Health. Better all around.
For a great car buying experience, there's only one place to go, Ziegler Granville Chrysler. Great selection, over 250 new cars, trucks, and SUVs. 200s, 300s, Darts, Caravans, Rams, Wranglers. Great savings. Your lowest prices and payments right up front without the hassle or haggling. Great people, a friendly professional staff committed to your complete satisfaction, and a great location too. Convenient to anywhere on Parkway Place Southwest in Granville. Ziegler Chrysler Granville for a great experience.
It is indeed the high-scoring Ali Ajami back on for another go here. looking to add to his total of 4 touchdowns. Grand Valley's going to run it on first down. That's a short gain for Bryce Young Walls, the freshman from Ann Arbor. Actually, they're going to say he was pulled down at the 34, which represents a short loss. Second and arguably 11.
Grand Valley, I think, is going to play a pretty vanilla here with only 3 minutes left. I think we'll see a bunch of runs, try to run up the clock, try to get a first down. If not, punt it away. But a better job last series by this team. A little bit aided by the offsides on the field goal attempt. But
well, I think both these teams are just trying to get off the field right now, especially after the injury to Alec Heldrath, which required him to be carted off the field and sent for additional medical attention, we are told. Grand Valley took too long. You can, I suppose, put that one on the quarterback, but that play was a long time coming in. There's really no excuse for that at this stage of the game. I mean, it's a read option. Call it, let him run it, and get it going.
And as you want to run that clock, that play clock, as much as you can. Let this the clock continue to tick, but you really got to be careful, and you don't want to push it too close to that 0 and get that 5-yard penalty. And that's another thing, clock management that Ollie's got to do a better job of. And he's going to have a tough week of practice this week, I think. Maybe get a little bit more reps because they really, I know he's had a lot of success with that first group, but they want to see a little bit more consistency out of him running with this, taking a strong command of this offense.
That's Bryce Young Walls again, and the guy that made the stop for Lake Erie was another Michiganian, Marcellus Mitchell from West Bloomfield, Bob.
No relation.
A lot of players down there since you left. they've restocked.
They have.
There's no longer a talent void in Oakland County.
Just starting to smart up and come out to Allendale. Plenty of talent down there. It was ironic. I remember after I was recruited to come to Grand Valley back in '87, it was a long time before we saw anybody from Brother Rice or that area, and it's one of those things that Grand Valley's just built its reputation not only on the field but the school and the classroom to attract nice players from the east side of the state.
Very nice run from the 31 to the midfield stripe. That's 19 yards. And congratulations all around for that effort for Bryce Young Walls. Grand Valley's going to make a change here with.
Just allows them to get into the victory formation now.
Yeah, Nick Kaiser comes on right now. He would not normally be playing at this point in the game. And I don't think Lake Erie is going to stop the clock. Grand Valley might have to snap it twice. Ryan West is in there. He's one of the protectors. Johnny's just going to fall backwards. And that pretty much is going to signal the end here tonight. One more snap coming for Grand Valley as the play clock is reset. But an impressive showing for Grand Valley. Really was just a one-half game, more or less, Bob. 42-0 at halftime. Grand Valley getting a tremendous night from Marty Carter after Terrell Dorsey had starred last week. But Carter showing the breakaway speed that Grand Valley maybe didn't have in evidence last week. And that's a good thing for the Lakers moving forward here on what we see now is the final play of the game as Matt Mitchell runs over to talk to Mark McNelly. Let's talk about what is next for Grand Valley. What do they look to improve on next week?
Well, I think it's just a continuing and working on getting their offensive line, finding out who's going to fit in there. But defensively, you got to be extremely happy with the pressure they're putting on with just the 4 defensive linemen, the depth that they've got defensively. Offensively, Bart Williams doing a great job having some receivers in Dotson and Erston Smith really step up and make some huge plays. You got Brandon Bean on the outside. The talent just continues to do good things here, and Grand Valley will just continue to try to work and move forward and have a good game next week against Northern Michigan again here in Lubbers Stadium.
Marty Carter had 3 touchdowns tonight, 2 on the ground, 1 receiving. Ali Ajami ran for 2 second-half scores. Bart Williams, 8 of 11, 196 yards. He had that beauty, a 62-yarder to Erston Smith for a touchdown. And Grand Valley just rolls rather simply in pretty much the same fashion they played last week. The Lakers now 2-0 and protecting their national ranking, I'm sure, of number 3 in the country. So that'll wrap it up for us here tonight from Lubbers Stadium in Allendale, Michigan. For Bob Mitchell and our producer-director, Bill Cuppy, and the rest of our broadcast crew, I'm Tom Cleary. Thanks for being with us. We'll see you next Saturday at 7 here on the Grand Valley Sports Network when Grand Valley takes on Northern Michigan. But our final score here tonight, it's Grand Valley 55, Lake Erie 7.